and gentlemen, to give the command, here is Mayor Carol Marinovich and the governor of the great state of Kansas, Bill Graves, with the greatest words in racing.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Jarrett told me last night when the engines start, the emotions of current events are to be set aside, replaced by the steely concentration required to go racing. The field of starters in the inaugural Protection 1 400 at the Kansas Speedway are rolling onto the track to make their parade and pace laps. And while they do that, let's get you a driver's eye view of this speedway with Benny's Thunder Motion.
And Thunder Motion is powered by EA Sports. And folks, I've found that these virtual cars are a little bit harder to drive than a regular car.
Think so?
I think so. Here as I go down in turn one, I want to be at the very bottom of the racetrack. And you can see whoever's driving Junior's car, totally the wrong line. You want to be right down on the bottom of the speedway through 1, 2, and 3, and 4. The backstretch is straight, which really creates a problem getting in turn 3. The car wants to get loose. In turn 3. And here I go by Junior outside. No, folks. This might be the only pass you see all day on the outside. The bottom is the place these cars want to be.
All right. You just passed Earnhardt on the outside at Kansas, and you say this is harder to drive? I mean, that was a tough deal.
That was a tough deal. Oh, these cars are hard to drive.
Now the Walmart starting grid for today's 400-miler. Leffler with point leader Jeff Gordon on the front row. Gordon, winner of 2 previous inaugural races. In his career, row number 2, couple of more Dodges. Bill Elliott and Stacy Compton, 4 Dodges, qualified in the top 5 spots.
Inside of row 3, Bill Elliott's teammate Casey Atwood, the second bestest rookie in the top 5. Johnny Benson on the outside. On the inside of row 4, Tony Stewart, 3 wins this season. Ricky Rudd trying to close in on Jeff Gordon for the Winston Cup Championship.
Row 5, Maine's Ricky Craven with his 5th top 10 start in the last 8 races, and the defending Winston Cup champion Bobby Labonte. The 6th row, Rusty Wallace, who struggled on these mile-and-a-half tracks this year. Best result of 12th, and John Andretti and Richard Petty's Dodge.
Matt Kenseth on the inside of row 7. His best 4th at Michigan in August. Jimmy Spencer, 5th at Chicagoland. Expect him to run well. On the inside of row 8, Kevin Harvick, Chicago winner. A track very similar to this. Andy Houston on the outside. On the inside of row 9, Ryan Newman. And let's try to talk to Ryan as these cars take their pace laps. Ryan Newman, Benny Parsons, you read me?
Copy, baby.
All right, this is the backup car. You crashed your other car in practice. How is it?
Pretty good. It was really quick in the happy hour, but we got 16 other guys here to get around, and just have to be patient. It's going to be a long 400 miles and different racetrack, and that's going to be different for everybody here, especially me.
How many times have you heard the word patience this morning?
Quite a few. I mean, you got to be there at the end to finish first. First, you got to finish, and we're just going to do the best we can to try to do that.
Well, good luck, Ryan.
BP.
Fastest car in happy hour yesterday afternoon.
Ryan Newman going to start in row 9, the 17th position. Continuing with the rest of the starting lineup, Kevin LePage and Elliott Sadler. Chevy and Ford in row 16. Robbie Gordon replaces Mike Skinner in Richard Childress Racing's number 31 Chevy this week. Skinner to have knee surgery on Tuesday. Final qualifier on time was Ward Burton and Bill Davis's machine. Rest of these got into the field by their point standings, a provisional starting spot. Tough week for Kurt Busch. He crashed his car in practice here on Friday. And you look at the final starters in the field: Michael Waltrip, Brett Bodine, and Hutch Strickland. Failed to qualify. Tough break for Kyle Petty, his sponsor's hometown. Wanted so badly to be in this one. Just didn't go well for him on Friday. Before they go green, some final stories from pit road, starting with Marty Snyder.
Well, Benny was pretty modest when he just talked to Ryan Newman, because on Monday, Benny predicted a first-time winner and followed through with this guy. Still on Saturday afternoon, Benny was saying Ryan Newman's probably going to win the race. He was the fastest in happy hour, and who knows, BP, this 23-year-old Purdue graduate may make you look like a hero. To Matt Yoakum.
Marty, while Jeff Gordon tries for his third inaugural race victory, his teammate Terry Labonte would like to have one. He hasn't won a race in 87 starts. They feel like they have turned the corner. They're seeing some daylight over their recent struggles. Maybe today could be the day they end the drought. Today Burns.
Matt, at the very similar Chicagoland Speedway earlier this year, Todd Bodine sat on the pole but could only spin together a 14th place finish. They believe they found a mechanical problem, and Todd thinks he can go from his 27th starting spot to the front this afternoon. Alan?
5 years and $224 million from dream to dream come true for the race fans of Kansas City. NASCAR is in your town. We're set for the green flag of the inaugural Winston Cup event at the Kansas Speedway.
Spun.
Andretti damaged. Yellow nose car. Benny, you talked about it at the very beginning of our pre-race show. The race was going to be the race to get to the bottom in turn 1 on lap 1.
And here we've got the 5th place starter spinning, and John Andretti. I know they had high hope for that STP, the 43 car today. And Ricky Craven talked to Cal Wells just a few minutes ago. He said, today could be our day.
Jimmy Spencer also coming down pit road. Let's take a look at what happened. Turn 1, lap 1.
Something happened to the car in front of Casey Atwood.
Is that Stacy Compton that was right in front of him?
I wonder if Casey got in the back of Stacy Compton, and when he jumped off the gasoline because he had gotten in the back of him. Let's see if we can see. There we see Casey on the inside. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some contact there. He just got in the left rear quarter panel. Stacy, John had nowhere to go.
Stacy thought Casey'd give him room and went for the bottom of the track.
Yes.
In the driver's meeting,
Johnny Benson watches this and somehow gets by before the 19 car of Casey Atwood backs up the racetrack. Oh.
It's on board John Andretti's car. In the driver's meeting this morning, David Hoots, NASCAR's race director, said no one will win this race in the first turn of the first lap. Please remember that. Turn 1, lap 1. Got a few wrecked cars. Going to push Andretti's car behind the wall. Craven and Spencer have both been on and off pit road once already. They're coming back to pit road again.
And there's a lot of damage to the 19 car when he goes up and makes contact with the wall with the right front.
And so we're under caution early here at the Kansas Speedway. Jason Leffler took the early lead, but who noticed? Didn't even get a full lap in here at the Kansas Speedway before the caution flag waved for a crash in turn 1, triggered with Casey Atwood and Stacy Compton.
You know, there's a couple of things on the very start of the race. Number one, the biggest story, obviously, the big crash. But look at Jeff Gordon. Here he is, starting on the outside pole. But check the gap in here between Bill Elliott and the pole sitter Jason Leffler. When they throw the green flag, Jeff Gordon realizes this and dives to the inside and gets to the bottom as quick as he can. He sees the gap, senses the gap. The spotter tells him. We saw Kevin Harvick go back to 10th yesterday in yesterday's race, starting on the outside pole. And there you see the crash started between Casey Atwood and Stacy Compton.
Bobby Labonte was right up there in the middle of all this.
Wow, that was close.
Jimmy Spencer on pit road. Marty?
And this would be the third trip down pit road for Jimmy Spencer, Allen, this time just right side tires. You can see the left side damage, however. They fixed that on the last trip down. Spencer came on the radio after the incident, apologized. He said he got into Ricky Craven. That's the reason Craven went spinning. The damage actually very minimal for Jimmy Spencer. It's only cosmetic. The chassis is fine. The brakes are fine. To Matt Yoakum.
Significant damage on the 32 car. Ricky Craven, he's also on pit road for the third time. His biggest problem is knocked the left rear corner of the spoiler down about 4.5 to 5 inches. They've had to use bungee cord and tape to try to keep the sheet metal in place because he's obviously knocked away the fender braces. Alan?
Craven back out, staying on the lead lap. John Andretti's car has gone to the garage. They have towed Casey Atwood's machine back into the garage also.
Let's go on board with Rusty Wallace. He's right behind Ricky Craven. Watch.
Funny, yeah.
Ricky Craven stops. He sees the accident. The spotter warns him. He stops. And Rusty Wallace had no other choice except running the backup.
And then when Craven came back up the banking is when he and Jimmy Spencer collided. First turn, first lap. Everybody was worried about it, and obviously rightly so.
It happened.
Yep. So we're less than a lap from the restart now. Jason Leffler's out in front. Jeff Gordon is second. Bill Elliott third. Stacy Compton hung on to his race car and hung on to fourth position. And then you've got, rounding out the top 5, Johnny Benson.
Take one more look at it. You know, you can see right there these two guys we want to look at. Casey's all the way down at the bottom, and Stacy just thought he had a lane open. He started moving down on Casey, and unfortunately Casey got the short end of the stick, and so did John and a lot of other cars.
John Andretti in the 43 car you were talking about. Pace car's off. Let's see if we can do this a little better this time. This time it's a single file start.
Pretty important right now to protect the bottom, because if you don't, and you get up on that high lane, it's just going to be like a Talladega. You're going to get hung out to dry because everybody's nose to tail.
Jason Leffler, a native of Long Beach, California, just his 23rd NASCAR Winston Cup Series race. He leads the champion to be, potentially, Jeff Gordon, 3-time champion. How's that?
That's better.
All right. May not lead him for long, though. Gordon taking a peek.
It looked like that lap there going to the corner. It looked like the 01 car, Jason Leffler's a little bit tight.
Rusty Wallace picking up 8th spot on Bobby Labonte.
And we'll see this especially in the early going. When the car gets on the inside of another car, the fellow on the outside is just going to back up, especially if there's room behind. He's going to back up and let him have that spot. Because we see what happens. Oh, battle for the lead. Here comes Jeff Gordon.
Gordon out in front. In trouble on the backstretch. Buckshot Jones. Several drivers with incredible avoidance there as Buckshot came careening back across the backstretch. Second caution of the race.
See some damage to the front of Buckshot's car. Certainly doesn't look as bad as John Andretti's, but
He's got a flat left front tire. I don't know if that was maybe some of the problem, or if he got that after he flat spotted him.
And we're already under the yellow flag for the second time, and we haven't even completed 10 laps. I hope that's not a sign of things to come for the rest of the afternoon.
That's a record for here.
Oh, yes, Wally, it would be a record, as would everything that happens today. Brilliant observation.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at what happened to Buckshot Jones off turn 2. That's put the yellow flag out again.
There again, looked like he may have got a little bit of help there as well.
And Sterling Marlin, who was right behind him. And watch as his car comes across the track out of that cloud. On pit road, looks like they've got a lot of work to do before they'll get Buckshot back out in this one. Dave?
And Alan, the first thing they did was to check to see if they had broken the radiator and what damage there was to the left front suspension. Looks like there are no visible pools of fluid or anything underneath the 44 right now, so that's a good sign. But they're going to have to do a lot of repairs, as you mentioned, to get him race ready once again. A lot of cars on pit road as well, Alan, topping off fuel and putting on fresh tires. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Well, back in the garage with John Andretti, and I know you're disappointed. What'd you see?
Oh, I didn't. All I saw was the car spinning out. It's real unfortunate because it's first corner, the first race here, and we had a really good car. Cherio's Sprint Dodge was really good all weekend, and I mean, it's just really, really frustrating for us and the guys. I don't have much to say. I just came out to say hi to my kids, Jarrett, Olivia, and Amelia, and say hi to them, tell them Dad's okay, and you know, it's been this way for a year. I told Kyle, I said, why can't anything good happen to this race team? You know, it's they work so hard, Kyle worked so hard, and we deserve better than this. And if not for me, for them.
John, were guys fighting to get that inside groove too early?
I think they are. I think they're fighting awful hard for something that doesn't matter for 200 and some laps. I mean, I was on the outside lane, and I didn't have a problem out there. My problem was the guy spun from the bottom up, and it's one of those things that happens, and I figured starting 12th, I mean, I should be in the safe part of the race, and starting around guys that shouldn't, you know, you think would know better, and, you know, accidents happen. I mean, that's why we're in racing. Unfortunately, we don't seem to cause them. We seem to be in a lot of them lately, and it's just real unfortunate for us.
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks.
Alan.
All right, Bill. John Andretti in the garage, Casey Atwood in the garage. Richard Petty's other car that was in this race is on pit road damaged.
And his other car did not make the race. So bad weekend for Petty Enterprises.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is running in 20th place now under the caution flag. He was in a little skirmish on the racetrack a minute ago, too.
There's Todd Bodine, the 66 car right in front of Earnhardt. Earnhardt trying to get position. Todd Bodine kind of runs him down on the apron. But Junior doesn't back up.
Still outside, still there.
Oh, wasn't a lot of room on the bottom that time. And Junior wisely backed off.
I think he knew Todd was coming.
That's playing chicken at 175 miles an hour.
More like 195 miles per hour down in that corner.
And what you saw there was a little bit of a guy getting another guy aero loose, and we're going to hear a lot about aero tight and aero loose today because this racetrack is so smooth that the cars are very dependent on aerodynamics.
Bobby Hamilton, Ricky Craven, Jerry Nadeau, Robert Presley, Brett Bodine, Michael Waltrip, and Jeremy Mayfield all made pit stops under the caution. They're all back on the track toward the end of the field.
And look at Kevin Harvick on the outside. Now, you would have thought he'd have learned yesterday not to test that outside, but he did pick up a couple of spots.
Got around Tony Stewart. Harvick up to 7th. Now Stewart with Rusty Wallace to his inside for 8th. Rusty in the 2. And the 0-2, Rusty's teammate, Ryan Newman. Moving forward fast. He started back in 17th.
Casey Copley got way high up in the middle of 1 and 2 there, losing a bunch of spots.
He was 4th. He's now 9th. We heard from John Andretti. The other driver involved in the accident a moment ago is with Bill Weber.
That's Casey Atwood back from a quick trip to the infield care center. You're okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. Everybody was scrambling, trying to get to the bottom there on that restart because the top was really not working. And I was trying to keep the 92 on the outside of me, trying to get in the front. And, I should have known from past racing experience from him I wasn't going to get much room there on that restart. So I think maybe I should have just let him in front of me and try to get him later in the race.
More give and take early on, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
when you have split seconds like that to make a decision about something, sometimes things happen that you wish you hadn't done.
You learned something today?
No, not really. Hopefully I didn't get to do anything on the track. I really don't think it was my fault from what I've seen in the car. I feel like I should have got a little bit more room, but maybe we can do it next time.
Thanks for your time.
Robbie Gordon in the 31 car trying to move forward. Meanwhile, they're about 2 or 3 wide behind him is Kenny Wallace in the 1 car on the inside of the 21 of Elliott Sadler. And here comes, is that Spencer?
Here's Jimmy in the 26. Everybody now, after seeing that first turn incident, being very careful when they get in that outside lane.
I don't know. I know, too. Benny and I were just watching Ryan Newman ran down in there on top of Stacy Coffin, got a little bit sideways, got Stacy out of shape.
Robert Presley, one of those who made a pit stop under this last caution. Jerry Nadeau in the 25 also did. Both moving by Elliott Sadler, who's shoveled back in that outside lane.
And Matt Kenseth has made an unscheduled pit stop. He's now a lap down.
Dave, what happened?
Well, to Matt Kenseth, he had a flat right rear tire. They came in and changed right side tires, sent him back out. As for Jerry Nadeau, he was real loose. They came in and took a spring rubber out of the right rear, which will help the car tighten up a bit, and they changed 2 right side tires as well.
Kenseth back in 40th position, 1 lap down, race leader Jeff Gordon. Terry Labonte in the 5, Andy Houston in the 96.
That's a battle for the 14th position. Labonte takes it away.
Houston, his final ride in this car. The sponsorship going away after today, and the team will shut down. Dave?
And Alan, I talked to Andy about that this morning, spent a couple minutes with him, and I asked him what his attitude was. And he said, you know, it's been hard to come to the track for the last few races knowing that we're not running this car anymore. But he said, today, I was a little bit more pumped up knowing this is my final shot with this car and for this sponsor. And he thinks he has a pretty good piece. And remember, McDonald's has said they want to stay in the sport, but unfortunately, it won't be with the Cal Wells team.
Somewhat of a halting start, already 2 caution flags, but now we're 20 laps in to the 267 that'll make up the inaugural event at Kansas Speedway. Back at the Kansas Speedway, new leader. The Sprint PCS presents NASCAR Winston Cup Series racing. Bill Elliott has just gotten by Jeff Gordon to take over the top spot.
Elliott has already pulled out to about 2/3 of a second lead. Here's that happen. Came off turn 4. We see Jeff Gordon's car is pushing, going up the racetrack as he comes off the corner, unable to keep it down. Bill Elliott could keep his down. Pull alongside Gordon, put the spot in turn 1.
Elliott, 3rd different driver to be out in front. Pole sitter Jason Leffler led 8 laps. Gordon 14. And now Elliott 4 as he comes to the start-finish line. Gordon is 2nd, Leffler is 3rd. Ricky Rudd has taken 4th from Johnny Benson a few laps back. Rusty Wallace has now moved to 6th through body to body. More on the leader from Bill Weber.
And obviously a good run for Bill Elliott so far. It's strong. They were very concerned when he got out front what the nose of the car would do in clean air. The question, how is it out there? One word answer, good. They've also told him that he is very strong from the middle of the corners off through the front stretch and the back stretch. So Dodge strong early. Bill Elliott hunting for his first win since 1994.
And that's where you have to be strong here. You have to be good off the corners because these cars, a lot of guys complain about the cars being tight, not wanting to turn when you get off the corners. So the Dodges are usually a little bit better. A little bit, seems like downforce-wise, they're a little bit stronger car, especially on the nose.
Dodge has got a rules concession from NASCAR a couple of months back where that very lower part of the nose of the car was allowed to be pushed 2 inches farther out forward away from the front bumper to increase the aerodynamic pressure on the nose of the car.
And what that does is it pushes the tires into the racetrack a little bit better. That's going to give you more grip.
We talk about tight, loose. We'll be hearing that all day today, folks. You'll be hearing it because we've got to talk about it. We're going to try to show you what we're talking about when we say tight. We'll go inside our virtual garage. go down the corner preferred line, just as it is at the Kansas Speedway, right on that white line. When the car comes off the corner and gets tight, it just pushes up the racetrack. Car is unable to turn. So visualize that, folks, when we say the car is tight. One concern that when I talked to the engine guys this morning, they have one concern: engine durability, because they're in between gear ratios. The front straightaway, these cars are turning about 9,200 RPM, and they're really concerned that 400 miles just possibly could do some of these engines in.
Remember, we saw Dale Jr. and Todd Bodine get into a little scrap a while back. Now Dale Jr. has finally completed the pass on Todd and picked up the 18th spot. 7 cars, Mike Wallace. He's 17th, trying to get a move on Andy Houston in 96.
At least that move that Mike Wallace made to the bottom of the racetrack got Andy Houston up off the bottom enough that he allowed to pass him coming off turn 2. It was a good move by Mike Wallace.
He's going to get past, should get passed by both these guys because he's up there in the slippery part of the racetrack, so Dale Jr. should be able to pull this pass off as well.
And another 3 or 4 behind if he doesn't get back down there. There you go, Andy. Close that door that was open before Ward Burton came through. Jimmy Spencer on the move.
And Jimmy Spencer had that damage on that first lap crash and made several pit stops, had to restart about the 35th position. He's worked his way up to 21st.
16th place, Dale Jr. around Mike Wallace.
Ward Burton ran up on the back of Andy Houston, got the back of his car loose, and now Andy's going to lose a couple more spots.
This Kansas Speedway does not have the banking in the corners that some other mile-and-a-half tracks do. When we go to Charlotte next weekend, those corners are banked at 24 degrees. This one is at 15 degrees, and it creates a whole different set of problems when you try and go into one of these corners.
Yeah, the banking doesn't hold you in the racetrack, so you go down into the corner, and you can't go through the corners fast because there is less banking. And a new racetrack like this, like Benny said earlier, there's not a whole lot of grip or traction. The racetrack isn't weathered enough to give you that grip in the tires. So everybody tries to run down the bottom of the racetrack, put that rubber down, that helps them stick.
And when you're on a flat race, on a bank racetrack, as you were talking about, the bank can do so much for you. Here's Jeff Burton on the inside of Todd Bodine. Can't quite get the position he needs.
Sterling Marlin starting back in 19th place. He has moved up now, just taking the 11th spot away from Dale Jarrett. Scoring serial on Marlin. Lost a little ground in the opening shuffle, but Bill is moving forward.
Well, Sterling Marlin having a good run here early, Alan. Just a couple of things about that paint scheme. It's called American Pride, and last week, Coors raised $4,000 for disaster relief victims following the terrorist attack on America. This week, $10 a lap again from Coors, so they can add another $2,670, making it over $6,600 they'll be donating. Also notice on that car, absolutely no decals for Coors. Just an American Pride slogan and the God Bless America.
And walking through the garage here and asking this morning, asking the crew chiefs and mechanics what car is really fast. The 40 car kept being mentioned. Sterling Marlin is very, very fast. Also, Jeff Gordon said his car was very good. But right now, Jeff Gordon is struggling. Bill Elliott has passed him, pulled away from Gordon by a couple of seconds. It looks like the Sterling Marlin is going forward.
Elliott's lead is 1.978 seconds over Gordon, Leffler, Rudd, and Benson. You're watching NASCAR on NBC. High noon Eastern Time next Sunday, NASCAR on NBC. There's the leader, Bill Elliott. And even 2 seconds is his advantage over Jeff Gordon. He has caught the tail end of the field, starting to put some drivers a lap down. Check the interval back to Jeff Gordon. There he is. Gordon already has led today, collected 5 bonus points toward the championship. His title rival, Ricky Rudd, has not. Ricky is running in 4th position now. He is 3.4 seconds behind the leader. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Alan, in the final practice session on Saturday afternoon, Jeff Gordon's problem was his car was loose on entry and tied off. Today, it's loose on entry, loose in the center, and a little tied up off. Also, for Ricky Rudd, his title rival, the car is loose in the center of the corner, but he's also reporting in the car gets looser when he tries to get underneath another car. So right now, his car is good in traffic. Both teams are trying to formulate a game plan for their first round of pit stops, which should come somewhere around lap 65 to 70.
9 races to go in the season, including today. Jeff Gordon has a 212-point advantage over Ricky Rudd. He cannot lose the lead in today's race, but he also knows with 9 races to go, this thing's far from over. It's no time to be conservative.
No points league big enough right now, and you know, right now we got to fight for every position, and we can't even be conservative right now because the 28, the 88, the 20, they're running good. We're running good too, which we're proud of that. But you know, the only way we're going to win this championship is to continue to get top 5s, top 10s every weekend.
Well, I agree that they need to be consistent and what have you, but right now they are struggling, and it looks to me like if they open this floodgate and these cars start passing Jeff, and he gets back mired in the middle of the pack, it's going to be awfully hard for him to get back to the front.
There are the championship contenders and where they are in the race. Dave?
Sorry, Alan, I missed who you were coming to me about. Who was that? And I could probably add. That would be
Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon. And Jeff Gordon, of course, is working this weekend to capture yet another victory for the Rainbow Warriors. And, you know, talking to Jeff earlier today, he has a lot of things on his mind from all the recent events here. Just happy that he can get back out on this speedway for the first time and try to correct that arrow push the next time he comes into the pits. That's what they'll be working on the next time they stop down pit road.
Gordon falling farther back. He's now 3 seconds behind, so Elliott's added another full second to his advantage.
Yeah, I'd like to get back a little earlier. I think as Matt was talking about the 28 car. That's a hard car to drive, what Ricky's doing right now. The car being loose in the middle, which actually the front tires are sticking too good, so the car wants to get sideways in the middle. When you get next to another car, especially as close as these cars are passing each other, you're taking the air off your car. You're taking the air off your spoiler. So it's even scarier passing somebody because you don't have as much downforce. So he's got his hands full right now.
See Jimmy Spencer back on the racetrack after an unscheduled stop.
Derek Cope has also been on pit road for an unscheduled stop. His car down a cylinder.
You know, we keep, oh, we see Spencer in the wall. He just had made a pit stop and goes down the corner and the car just would not turn.
Caution, Spencer's car has dropped debris.
You know, the guys talk about putting on new tires. When you put on cold tires, they just don't seem to grip too well that first couple of laps. And I think that's what happened to Spencer. He made a stop, changed tires, and he got down to turn 1. They just would not grip.
Third caution of the race.
And we're going to see pit stops now. The question that I have, what are we going to see on these pit stops? Do you think some guys will be changing 4, some guys 2, and maybe some guys not even changing tires?
50 laps in, you need most of a tank of fuel. So you might as well change the 4 tires, wouldn't you think?
I agree. If you're going to be there that time, you may as well go ahead and put rubber on. Let's take a look and see what happens. See Ricky's working on the back end. Yeah, you're right, BP. The car just quit turning.
Just got down in the corner and lost grip.
But see, the reason I would put 4 tires on is it may set you up. If this thing does go green for a long time, then you put yourself in a position to maybe just take right sides. You know, it's hard to tell. Seems like these cars are just as fast or even faster after 30 or 35 laps on their tires than they are with new tires.
Lead lap cars only are allowed to pit the first time by. It'll be Elliott, Gordon, Leffler, Rudd, and Benson coming in. Challenge here for Leffler's crew. Their first time at the front of the pack. Let's see if they can get all pumped up and keep their guy up there.
I tell you what, a bad pit stop right now can certainly cost you the race when it's all over. Bill Weber, they're coming to you.
And you look at the triple splits, also 50 laps for Bill Elliott. the car just a little bit free. 4 tires in fuel. These are 4 scuffed tires. They were scuffed for 2 laps in practice here earlier in the weekend. Marty?
Jason Leffler also with scuffed tires, Bill. A little bit tight. He's doing a terrific job right now. They are very good on the long runs. Half a pound into the right rear. To Matt Yocum.
A 4-tire change for Jeff Gordon. They made a wedge adjustment. Remember, his car was tight, and the 9 car will beat Gordon off pit road.
Elliott, Gordon, Rudd, Benson, Wallace. Where's Leffler? We saw they had some trouble on the left side on their pit stop. He's 8th in line.
And that was, it looked like it was only about a second or a second and a half slower, but that's a lot on pit lane.
Dave Burns.
Good pit stop for Jerry Nadeau. He wanted to actually stay on the tires he was on. He communicated with crew chief Tony Furr and said, I don't think I want to change tires. Tony said, no, let's get these off. It's your first long run. They came in before, but they didn't change tires. It's your first long run. Let's take a look at them, and we'll judge from there whether or not we can stay out long time today. The crew's looking him over now, and Jerry just made a slight air pressure adjustment for him. He was just a tick tight off of the turns, but he was much better the last 5 laps.
Nadeau pitted on lap 10. He restarted 39th. He moved up to 19th under the green flag before making that yellow pit stop. 51 of 267 laps complete. You're watching NASCAR on NBC. Less than a lap from the green flag. Here's our Mountain Dew pit summary.
See, Ricky Rudd picked up a spot. Everybody from 3rd forward, from 4th forward picked up a spot because Jason Leffler, who was running 3rd, didn't do too good. He ended up 9th spot, lost 6 positions on that pit stop. Bobby Labonte lost 4th.
Leffler's team had a little bit of trouble on the left side when they went around. First-time pole winner, Jason Leffler, trying to fare better than most of the other guys who are first-time pole winners have this year. This is Charlotte on Memorial Weekend in the 600. Ryan Newman, lap 19. He's leading the race, and he crashes right in front of Jeff Gordon. He finishes in 43rd position. Crew had to take the car behind the wall to make extensive repairs. Jeff Green finished 42nd at Bristol when he was a first-time pole winner. Stacy Compton at Talladega, 43rd when he was a first-time pole winner. And then Kurt Busch for the Southern 500. First-time pole winner, he crashed and finished 39th.
And this is probably one of the few times the leaders like when their lap cars are down on the bottom, because if these first 3 or 4 guys can clear the lap cars, they're going to put some distance on the cars behind, because all the lead cars are up high. So they got to get by these guys as quick as possible.
Bill Elliott, Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, Johnny Benson, and Rusty Wallace are the top 5. The lap down cars to the inside, the 12 of Jeremy Mayfield, the 17 of Matt Kenseth, those 2, the 55 of Bobby Hamilton. They got lapped by the leader before the caution came out.
And that's exactly what Wally was talking about. The top 4 cars have been able to clear the lap traffic. Rusty Wallace, the 5th place car, hung up behind them and losing ground each lap. Elliott gets the car a little bit loose. Gordon's looking on the inside.
He's there.
And Bill said, okay, Jeff, you're there. You can have it.
We're under caution at lap 3. A lot of things happening, so let's start now. How about the third lap after the restart with our silent tribute to the great champion Dale Earnhardt and all of America's lost heroes.
Well, you said Jeff Gordon, that Ricky Rudd did not let a lap just a few minutes ago. He led that last lap.
Yes, he did. He crossed the start-finish line first. 5 bonus points in the championship for Rudd. Now he gives the lead back up to Gordon.
But that was pretty impressive, and they're 3 wide behind this group as Rusty Wallace tries to fight through the lap traffic and finally get through them.
Kenseth in the 17, Hamilton in the 55, both a lap down. Sterling Marlin in the 40 and Harvick in the 29. Their lead lap, they're racing for 6th.
our pole sitter, Jason Leffler, behind these guys. He's moving his way up to the 8th position.
Just got by Tony Stewart to take that spot. Let's give you the cars that are a lap down, because at the tail end of that long run, the leader caught several people all at once. You've got Kenseth and Hamilton, I mentioned them. Brett O'Brien, Elliott Sadler, Jeremy Mayfield, Joe Nemechek, and Hunt Strickland. A one lap down trouble. Front stretch. Kurt Busch. And a race back to the caution flag. Rudd's going to try and get Gordon for the lead.
He has that position. Jeff hung on the outside the last time, and he's trying to do the same thing again. Maybe we are seeing an outside line move up. Come in, Wally.
Who's it gonna be at the line?
Rudd got it. Boy, that 24 car really hung out there pretty tough.
And that was just to lead the race back to the pace car. They will allow Kurt Busch in the 97 to get back by the pace car. And let's go take a look at what happened to put us under caution.
He just lost it up there. There was nobody even behind him, really very close to upset his car. He just lost the back of the car.
Andy Houston says, I thank goodness he did not turn right when he finally got the car straight. In fact, the car turned left and down through the grass.
And look at this. Wow.
That is close.
10 inches, a foot. Maybe.
Maybe.
So Rudd is now the leader of the Protection 1 400. You're watching NASCAR on NBC. Fourth caution flag here at the Kansas Speedway. Been kind of a halting start to today's NASCAR Winston Cup inaugural here, but we're getting set to try it again. The 1-to-go signal given as the field crossed the start-finish line. And so the lap cars pull up to the inside of the leaders. Ricky Rudd racing Jeff Gordon pretty hard back to that caution flag to get the top spot.
I think that Ricky Rudd feels like that he has a better car. I mean, and he wants to be in front of Jeff Gordon. He wants to drive away from him and get the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps.
For leading the most laps, because he'd already got the bonus points for leading the lap.
I think now he's trying to get the other bonus points.
He's probably tired about being a nice guy all the time, too.
Let's see if Kenseth can get back on the lead lap.
Now, Jeff might take advantage of this right here. These cars running side by side like that, and he does.
And Jeff Gordon goes back to the lead.
Bill Elliott is third. Boy, Ricky Rudd's on the track. Here comes Elliott.
I saw Ricky Rudd's car go down in the corner and just did not grip the way it should. And he loses another spot to Ricky Rudd. Hey, Matt, what did Rudd's team do on that pit stop?
Benny, they took on scuffed tires. Ricky reported it under that caution, and his car is very, very loose as a, quote, son of a gun. But if this is what it takes to stay here, I'll take it. He said his car feels like he only has 2 tires on the left front and the right rear. Meanwhile, Gordon, who had on scuffs to start, put stickers on. He says that's not the way to go. Remember, I've talked to several crew chiefs this week, and they all say sticker tires show a tendency to be loose for 6 or 8 laps.
And if you're new to NASCAR, a sticker tire is a brand new one with the label still on it, never turned a lap on a race car. A scuffed tire has been one that's put on the car, been run around the track a couple of times and taken back off.
Right, and a new tire is almost like it's a shiny new tire, and it's a little bit slippery. What the cars, most of these cars were doing anyway, was scuffing tires. So put on a brand new set of tires, so go out and run 2 hard laps, get a heat cycle, knock that shine or slick, so to speak, off the new tire. And they did that with many, many sets of tires.
And I think this caution flag, this last caution flag, was probably a real benefit to Jeff Gordon with those brand new tires. He was able to scuff them real good. They cooled down during the caution lap. He put a heat cycle on the tires, and they probably will be pretty good right now.
Jeremy Mayfield's got some problems. He's on pit road, Dave.
And Alan, they're looking under the hood, which sometimes says it's a motor deal. It is not this time.
Trouble in turn one. Ward Burton is in it. Todd Bodine is the other car. Yellow flag.
We might have a situation where two cars are fighting for the same spot and then turn one again. Would you think that'd be possible?
I believe, Benny, you hit the nail on the head.
Back to the caution. Jeff Gordon is the leader. Matt Kenseth will get a lap back. And two wrecked race cars sitting in the middle of turns 1 and 2.
And I kind of touched on this earlier. When you've got the groove is so narrow, when you're racing side by side, you'll run closer to the guy because that grip in that groove is so narrow. Yeah, he looked like.
Oh, there's a third car involved there, wasn't it? Was that
Nadeau got in the back of the 22 car.
Oh my goodness! Look at Todd's car go up and almost over when he made contact with the wall.
So, yep, Jerry Nadeau definitely got in the back of the 22.
This is on board Bobby Labonte.
That's twice today that Bobby Labonte said, that was close.
Good to see Todd Bodine out of his car.
Yeah.
That was a hard crash.
Taking off his heat shields, off his heels. The floorboard on these cars are just extremely hot, so they wear little asbestos heat shields. Ward Burton's out of his car. And he's a little angry.
Can you blame him?
Not really. He wants to go out and wave to the cars when they go by, I'm sure.
And so the cleanup continues here at the Kansas Speedway. Already the 5th caution. You're watching NASCAR on NBC. Sprint PCS presents NASCAR Winston Cup Racing from Kansas City. 75,000, filling every seat in the house for the inaugural event at the $224 million Kansas Speedway. We're under caution for the 5th time in the race after Todd Bodine and Ward Burton crashed up in turn 1 because...
As you see the 25 car, Jerry Nadeau just drives way down into turn 1, gets in the back of Ward Burton, turns him sideways. There's Todd Bodine, has nowhere to go, and got some tore up race cars. And
you know, Todd Bodine, the 66 car, and Ward Burton, he's a little angry. The guy's trying to restrain him. Let go of me, man. Look, I got to go over and talk to my man. And say, why did you do that? But you know what? The fact that the 66 car was there saved him a lot harder impact because it really cushioned the blow for the 22 car.
I'm sure that'll make Todd Bodine feel a lot better. Under caution, they're going to take and clean the whole track up with some of the big jet blowers. So let's take a break and come back before the restart.
Back at the Kansas Speedway, we're under yet another caution for contact on this very narrow, very tight speedway with typically only one groove so far. And Todd, I'll talk to the guys who were having the groove trouble. You just kind of got caught up in this, didn't you?
Yeah, our Kmart Blue Light Special is a little too tight to start the race, and we'd freed it up there, but I'd pushed up. Ward got under me, and when you get side by side here right now, the way the racetrack is, you just have to slow down a little bit. And Ward slowed up, and I slowed up, and whoever's behind Ward decided he wasn't going to slow up and kind of run through Ward and spun him up in front of me. It's a shame. We had a really good car in happy hour yesterday. We thought we had a shot that went run up front. You know, we were adjusting the car, was getting better, and we would have been around at the end in the front, but we can't now. But it was our best race car, and we're going to have to throw it away. But I want to say hi to my little pumpkin, Ashlyn. Hi, baby.
I bet she's at home enjoying a sucker right now on behalf of Dad. By the way, Jerry Nadeau did apologize on the radio, and his team passed along. I don't know if Todd got it or not, but they will be passing along that Jerry didn't mean to do it, and he did pass that along on the radio. Alan?
All right, Dave. Todd started 27th. He was up to 13th at the time of the accident, and it has put him behind the wall in the garage, along with Ward Burton, Hut Strickland, John Andretti, and Casey Atwood. And let's go back to Dave Burns.
And we'll just sneak in here and talk to Ward real quick. Ward, Jerry's apologized on the radio for getting into you. You obviously had nowhere to go or nothing to do, did you?
No, and I know Jerry didn't do it, mean to do it. He's a nice guy. I probably lost my temper there for a minute. Just frustrating. You know, the Caterpillar team works really hard to give me good cars. came from 36 running 14th and was just biding my time waiting for it to open up. The guys in front of me were bottlenecking, and we just had to slow down going in the corner. Jerry didn't, but that's the 11th time this year I've gotten the hell knocked out of me. It just gets frustrating after a while.
And even that can hard. And the fact that he won at Darlington, guys, that's hard to balance off those 11 times that he's been wrecked that he just talked about.
So Ward Burton's day most likely done with a very badly damaged race car. Meantime, Jerry Nadeau is in 12th position. Let's check our NASCAR Busch Series update. Yesterday, 300-miler here at the Kansas Speedway. Jeff Green for the second week in a row is the winner, and the second week in a row, his team made a little strategy call late in the event that got him up front. This time, they did not make a late pit stop when a lot of others did. Jason Keller among them, who was leading late in the race. He wound up 5th. Championship standings, Kevin Harvick had a very bad day yesterday, involved in a crash. He lost about a third of his lead to Jeff Green and Jason Keller. The Busch Series running in Charlotte next Saturday. Matt Yoakum.
And a little update on Steve Parr. Contrary to a lot of rumors, I visited with Steve Parr for about 3 hours on Wednesday night, and his eyesight is improving. Doctors say that tests show he does have 20/20 vision in both eyes, but when both are open, he does have double vision about 6 or 8 feet away. But more good news, the bruise on his brain has disappeared by about 70%. He has a lot of phone calls from guys like Ricky Craven and Ernie Irvin and their doctors about what they experienced in their accidents and how long it took them to get back to 100% and how long the healing process took. And Park is very encouraged. In fact, last weekend he's doing so well, he detailed his Harley, his Corvette, his truck, and cleaned out the garage. But he also told me that he will not return. He will not come back any quicker than the Saturday before he walked into the Busch Series garage in Darlington in the same condition mentally and both physically. So he says he is improving and he can't wait to get back. He might come back and visit maybe Charlotte or Martinsville.
Hey, you know, Matt, if Steve's got a little extra time, I can drop my Harley by there. It needs a little detailing. There's Kenny Wallace substituting for Steve Park in the one car. In 20th place. You don't have a Harley?
Benny doesn't have a Harley.
Get you one.
And welcome back to the new Kansas Speedway. Less than a lap to go before we go back to green flag action. Behind me, car owner Ray Evernham comes to the track every week with 2 cars, young Casey Atwood and the veteran Bill Elliott. Ray very unhappy right now with his driver, Casey Atwood. Felt that Casey might be to blame for the early caution in this race. Then also, he's very pleased with the run of Bill Elliott, that Elliott has been very successful so far here in the early going. Now, this set of tires has not been to Bill's advantage, but they haven't been able to get back out in front and run a number of green flag laps or even run laps in traffic. Every time that goes back to caution, those tires cycle a little bit. Bill is just a little bit loose in, but good around the rest of the track. Evernham desperately wants to get his team in victory lane before the end of the season. Brought 2 cars to this track, only has 1 hope left. Usually when you have a multiple car team, you go home more disappointed than you do happy. Alan?
Very true, Bill. How'd you like to be Richard Petty? Brought 3 teams here this weekend. 1 didn't qualify. The other 2 were involved in early crashes.
Get ready. Green flag.
Joe Nemechek in the blue and white car is the first one to the inside of the leaders of lap down.
And as well as Nemechek ran at Dover last week, this weekend, they just failed to find the handle. Here's Rusty Wallace for the lead, turn 3.
Fifth different driver to lead the race. Rusty Wallace, now Bill Elliott under Jeff Gordon for second. Here comes Ricky Rudd up on Gordon's back bumper.
And here's where Jeff Gordon has been struggling. Off turn 4 as he comes off the corner. The car is a little bit too tight. We told you what that was. And as you're tight off that corner, you're losing your forward motion. You're losing your speed, your momentum.
Behind these four, Johnny Benson runs 5th, Kevin Harvick 6th, trouble in turn 2. Stacy Compton. Yellow's out. Once again.
At some point in time, these cars have got to stop again. You think this is the time, Wally?
Well, they stopped at what, 53, 54, somewhere around there.
51.
51, 30 laps.
That's about a half a run.
I think I would.
Think you would?
I think I would.
Stacy Compton in the 92 started today in 4th place. Team needing a sponsor for next year. They had high hopes for today. Marty?
Well, that is the debate right now with the leader, Rusty Wallace, and his crew chief, Robin Pemberton, whether to pit or not. Robin just told Rusty, let's just stay right where we're at. Rusty came back and joked, I think the pace car is going to have to get fuel before halfway in this race.
Maybe so.
All right, let's see. They're going to stay out there. One of these sessions, there's not going to be a caution flag, and these cars are going to run a long green flag run.
But I believe, I'd be surprised if some of these guys don't come down pit lane. If I was 10th, 12th, 13th, I'd come in.
If you're the leader?
Well, we see the leaders going by. Here comes Nemechek, although he is a lap down. Here's another car that's a lap down. Jeff Burton is the first car, 10th place car. Here he comes. And you're right, a lot of cars decided they would give up that track position because it may go for 100 laps. Dave Burns.
Jeff Burton's car rolls to a stop right behind him. Matt Kenseth is going to take fuel only and no adjustment. As for Burton, he's going to change 4 tires and then get back on the track. So Kenseth is in and out of here real quick. Burton stays, gets his 4 tires, and now he's gone.
83 laps complete. A quarter of them have been run behind the pace car so far here at Kansas City. Coming to the green flag, a quick look at what put us under caution.
And see, Stacy's kind of in the middle of everything right there, and it looks like his car just breaks loose, and it looked like his car has been loose since the start of this race. Michael Waltrip was right there behind him, but I don't believe there's any contact made. What do you think, BP?
It didn't look like there was. Remember, Stacy Compton, the last pit stop, changed 2 tires only.
Bobby Hamilton in the 55. Now the first car lap down, trying to get one back. The leader, Rusty Wallace. It's Rusty Wallace leading, Bill Elliott 2nd, Jeff Gordon 3rd, Ricky Rudd 4th, Johnny Benson is 5th. The most recent caution brought out for Stacy Compton's crash in turn 2. He's with Dave Burns.
We're back in the garage area. They're making some repairs to his car. Stacy, Wally Dallenbach speculated he might have been a little loose. Is that a lot loose, maybe?
A lot loose. Kodiak Mellon Dodge, great qualifying effort. The guys really hustled. Had a little problem this morning with motor and ended up having to change motors. And I don't know, we've been fighting loose all day. And Wally's exactly right. We just got a little loose. Caught it a couple times before, but couldn't catch it this time, and ended up touching the wall a little bit. We'll be back out in a few minutes.
Hate to have to ask you about this one too, but you had contact with Casey Atwood on lap 1. What happened there?
I apologize. I thought I was clear. I looked back. I seen Casey. I was clear on the straightaway, and we got off in the corner. Apparently, I wasn't clear. I hated for those guys. They had a good car, and hate that anybody gets anything tore up. But I thought I was clear, and guess I wasn't.
All right, Alan.
So Stacy Compton back in the garage area with Ward Burton, Todd Bodine, Casey Atwood. And a tough start. And by the way, John Andretti is back on the track after repairs to his car.
These guys talk about loose, and that's to me, it's the worst situation of all. Let me show you what we're talking about by loose. And folks, when this thing ends, you're going to see just how terrified the driver can become. Go inside our virtual garage. Go down that corner. Once again, the preferred line on the bottom of the speedway. Kind of like the Kansas Speedway. If you come off the corner, this is loose. The back end kicks out, and you go straight for the wall, using that bank and trying to catch the car.
Mark Martin in the 6th, Mike Wallace in the 7th. This is 11th place. Oh, look out, Mark.
You talk about loose, that's almost as bad as that virtual block.
And there again, I was talking about earlier, when your groove is so narrow, when you're passing a car, you have to get so close to him, and you lose the aerodynamics on these cars, and that's exactly what I think happened to Mark there.
That's right, he was on the inside, he lost his aerodynamics, and also the side of the car, he had no air to lean against because he was beside the car.
It's a good save. Good save by Mark Martin.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. He fell back to the 18th spot. Let's go take another look at it. This is from Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s onboard camera.
And you watch Mark go down on the inside, and these cars get so close to each other, Mark just loses the air on the car. Like I said, that was a heck of a save.
And I'm not sure how Mike Wallace had presence of mind enough to know that Mark was in trouble. Normally that would have been a crash that would have taken both cars out.
Well, I'll tell you what, sometimes, BP, when you're in that situation, and Mark was so close to the 7 cars window, you can feel that air being blown on the back of your neck from Mark Martin's car. So, you know, I got somebody very close to me. And you just turn the car up the racetrack a little bit.
Looking down on the Kansas Speedway from our U.S. Army Skycam, courtesy of the United States Army and Army of One.
Well, the Cheerios Dodge of John Andretti made a couple laps. He's now back in the garage area.
And he got sent there by NASCAR, Benny, because the repairs they made to the car, they put a new nose piece on it. And NASCAR wants to have a look at it, make sure it's one that is approved and so on. I'm not quite sure about the work that they did.
Mike Wallace's 7 car. Junior trying to get by. On board with Bobby Labonte as we watch this. Talked to Buddy Barnes, the crew chief on Mike Wallace's car this morning. It's a brand new race car. And he said Mike felt very comfortable in the car. And it looks like, because he's battling for the 11th spot right now, takes it away from Junior from the outside.
You must have watched your lap earlier, BP.
Yeah. Bobby Labonte right in the middle of this mix as well, and Marty has an update on his race for us.
Well, it's been pretty good so far, Alan. A little bit tight right now for Bobby Labonte, but his team back at the shop has been very busy over the last month or so. In 2003, there will be a body style change for the Pontiac Grand Prix. 2 weeks ago, Joe Gibbs Racing finished the first of those cars. They took it to the wind tunnel last week. It blew very good numbers. They're very happy with it. The plan for the 2003 Grand Prix is to take it to the track early next year, present it to NASCAR the middle of next year, but the first of those cars just now finished by Joe Gibbs Racing.
Talk about lead time needed to get something on the track. Building the 2003 car now.
Sarah Williams Race Chasers, Earnhardt Jr., Mike Wallace, and Bobby Labonte. This great battle is going on back for the 11th position. You can see it's a little over 12 seconds behind the leader, Rusty Wallace.
Mike Wallace, job hunting for next season. He is out of the 7 car at the end of this year. I talked with him this morning. I said, so how's it going? He said, going fine where this race car is concerned. Got anything I can drive next year?
See Sterling Marley coming up right behind Johnny Benson trying to take over. That's the battle for the 5th spot. And folks, we've showed you the tight and we've showed you loose. The problem with these race cars today, as they burn fuel off. After all, fuel weighs about 6 pounds to the gallon. It's 22 gallons of fuel. So as that weight is burned off, they start picking up push in the nose. So for the car to be balanced at the end of a run, they need to start the car at the beginning of the run so loose. One of the crew chiefs told me that that's when the drivers need to put on those big boy pants and get up on that wheel, because it's not going to be very comfortable for 25 or 30 laps.
Marlin looking to the inside of Benson. I think Johnny knows Sterling has the faster car at this point.
And it doesn't look like he cares.
Talked about the potential for first-time winners today. Benson seeking his first NASCAR Winston Cup win. Pit road for Hut Strickland.
We're told that a transmission has failed on Hut Strickland's car. There was Steve Benson. Finally lost that 5th position to Sterling Marlin.
So he did care.
He did care after all.
So now if we're going to have a first-time winner, we've got to go back to the 6th spot to find someone who hasn't won a race, a NASCAR Winston Cup race.
Bill Weber.
Well, Alan, Johnny Benson is one of a number of teams that we're testing here on September 10th. Then the incidents the morning of September 11th terminated that test for many teams. Benson and his crew decided to leave the track after the attacks on New York, Washington, and the incident in Pennsylvania. Obviously, they could not fly. They drove 1,044 miles from the infield here in Kansas City to their shop back in Concord. They were one of the few people able to get rental cars and make that trip. The test on that day, the 10th, was favorable and may be paying off today. Benson hunting, as Benny mentioned, for his first Winston Cup win. But the date of September 11th lives with this team for many reasons, and one of them was that trip home.
You know, it really is amazing when you go into a rental car lot today and pick up your car, you can't find any license plates of the state you're in.
Yeah.
We came into Missouri here to the airport. You go to the lot and saw Montana, California, Texas. The car that I'm driving has a Texas license plate.
Johnny Benson running in 6th, but he had a really close call a few minutes ago trying to put a lap on Joe Nemechek up in turn 4.
He came up off the corner, and Nemechek did not get off the corner as well as Benson anticipated. Watch this. Little contact. Nemechek somehow saves the car.
Dale Jarrett in the 88, Mark Martin in the 6, back for 16th place. Jarrett's not shown any kind of strength today at all.
And I talked to Todd Farrell this morning in the garage area and asked him to make any changes. He said, I'm breathing, aren't I? In other words, they changed just about everything on the car this morning. Talking about the 88 UPS car.
Marty?
Well, and he was tight earlier in that last run. He said the car is rolling through the center much better right now. But again, he's gone back to the tight condition. They've really struggled all weekend. We talked about it in happy hour. They were making major changes to the 88 car in happy hour. They were not happy during that practice session. And this morning, things are not going much better once the race started.
I talked to both Dale and Tom Parrott last night, and they were still contemplating what exactly they were going to do. They just knew their car wasn't what it needed to be to run up front today.
And, you know, when you get these drivers like Jarrett and Mark Martin that are just accustomed to running up front, when they're mired back in the pack, it's so frustrating. But they are experienced enough to realize they've got to hang in there and keep working on the car. Who knows? Todd Parrott and that crew might make a change the next pit stop that will make the 88 car as fast as anyone on the racetrack.
And the problem is, if you're tight to begin with, you're really going to be tight normally around other cars. So he's got that to contend with as well, because the air off the car in front of you is disrupting the air on your nose. So it's taking the air off the front of your car, which is making it harder to turn.
A little different paint scheme for Jarrett's car this weekend. This, the flames and the brown color and all that designed to match some paint they put on a lot of UPS delivery trucks around the country and tie in with that whole "we want to race the truck" ad campaign. Bill Elliott trying to get the lead from Rusty Wallace.
And I'll tell you what, Bill Elliott has a fan right now. Probably the biggest fan that he has on how well he's running would be Casey Atwood. Because there's nothing that's going to make Ray Abraham smile except the victory here today.
Casey involved in the crash, turn 1, lap 1, that took his car, which was qualified 5th, out of contention. Let's get an update on Rusty from Marty.
Well, a lot of debate, Alan, about stickers versus scuffed tires. We have talked about it a lot today. Many teams in the garage area during final practice yesterday scuffed every set of tires they had. That is not what Rusty Wallace's team did. Instead, what they did was scuffed half and left half them as stickers. Rusty just radioed Robin Pemberton, I like the sticker tires much better. They start me off a little looser, and that's what this car needs. To Bill Weber.
Marty, 2 stories down here. First for the 9 and then for the 10 on sticker tires. The 9 did almost exactly what you did. You said scuffed every set 2 laps. Johnny Benson right now has a number of set of sticker tires in his pit. In fact, They plan to put on stickers. Next time they stop, stickers for Benson, scuffs for Elliott. We'll see what happens.
Right now, if that's what he likes, that's what he's going to get. And obviously, Rusty knows he needs his car a little bit looser, like you said earlier, Benny, because his cars are going to get tight. But right now, he looks like his car's a little tighter than that 9 car is about to take advantage of it because he can stay on the bottom of the racetrack lower, getting off the corners.
Draws alongside for the lead. Will Rusty give it to him?
Not without a fight, he won't.
But right here is where the 9 car is strong, but he had to pull the car down a little bit because the preferred line is to slide the car up against the wall.
Hey, I see some light at the end of the tunnel on the second groove. And we're not even halfway.
Side. Inside.
Rusty hanging pretty tough on the outside.
Remember what happened to Mark Martin a little while ago when he ran into turn 1 to the inside of Mike Wallace. Bill backing off a little early to make sure that doesn't happen to him.
Exactly right. Whatever problem the 90 car had, it looks to be terminal now.
Transmission troubles reported earlier for Hud Strickland. Alabama driver going to be headed back behind the wall, it looks like. Wasn't it just talking about Bill Elliott not wanting to get loose under Rusty? Wasn't it just Dover last week? He was under Bobby Labonte early in the race, and the car snapped loose on him in the corner. They collided and wrecked. He's got way too good a car to take a chance on that happening right now. We're not even halfway through at Kansas City. Back with more after this. Entering the window for green flag pit stops, Marty.
Well, the pole sitter peels off pit road, Alan. He was out of fuel when he came down pit road, was Jason Leffler. The car's been very good, but a little bit tight today, Burns.
Andy Houston's car was running, Marty, so they still had fuel. He was just a little bit tight. They made a wedge and a track bar adjustment, and now he's gone.
Leaders last stopped at lap 55. We're at lap 116 now.
We saw a lot of cars run out of fuel in the Busch race yesterday, so these guys can't cut it too close.
60 to 65 laps. Terry Labonte out of fuel.
He looks to be out of fuel. He was slow off turn 2.
And here's a change for 4th spot.
Man, what's going on with the 5 car?
You're exactly right, Benny. He reported in he is out of fuel. The 5 car of Terry Labonte is out of fuel today.
And Jerry Nadeau has said, actually Tony Furr, the crew chief, has made the call. 2 tires only for Nadeau, but they are going to stay for all of the fuel. This looks like it may be a fuel mileage race, and he leads with a full tank. Matt?
And Terry Labonte brings the 5 car quietly into his pit stall. He tries to crank it again as they put fuel in it. This will be a 4-tire stop, and they are going to put scuffed tires on the 5 car of Terry Labonte. He does refire the car. Meanwhile, his teammate Jeff Gordon is close for service. It's the 5 car of Terry Labonte pulls away. And here comes Jeff Gordon down pit road. He was talking about his car was tight up off of turn 4 and just a tick tight in turns 1 and 2. They are going to adjust with air pressure, and they are going to put scuffed tires on the 24 car. Remember we told you he put stickers on before and the car was just too loose, but it has now gone to the tight side. They're not going to take a chance now. They're going to go with scuffs. It's Gordon's down and away to Marty.
And Rusty Wallace will come down pit road, Matt. Again, they're going to put on sticker tires this time. The leader says he's very good. He starts a little bit free, but those sticker tires start him free. He gets tighter the longer the run goes. They will take a pound out of both left side tires to Bill Weber.
It's scuffed tires for the 9 car, a set of 4 tires that they got from Casey Atwood's team after Atwood fell out. Outstanding stop. Elliott was just a little loose in. They're hoping the scuffed tires will help that condition. He's on his way.
Ricky Rudd, Tony Stewart, Johnny Benson on pit road. Dale Jarrett's in. And now Sterling Marlin comes in after leading a lap. Marty?
Jarrett is here, Allen running 15th. They will make an adjustment on the right side. He is tight through the center of the corner. 1 round up on the track bar for Dale Jarrett. They put the left side tires on. He's back out on the racetrack.
It's 4 tires for Sterling Marlin. Left's now tight. Fuel in. Good stop for Sterling. And that car carrying the red, white, and blue today.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is now the leader. Bobby Labonte moves up to second. He comes in. Let's go to Marty.
Ryan Newman running 11th, 1 round up on the track bar. He is tied off the corner. On the radio, here's Roger Penske, his spotter today and team owner. He says, I like your line on the racetrack.
Here comes Bobby. Marty.
On the radio, Bobby Labonte was saying, I just can't get the car to stick into the corners. He is pushing really bad. They finished 36 at Dover. They fell from 6th to 9th in points. They really want a good finish, and they really had a great stop. Today, Burns.
4-tire stop for Mike Wallace, running near the top 10. He made a radio adjustment. His radio was not working. They said he was tight from the spotter. Bill Weber.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s team had a bad pit stop earlier in this race when the right front tire got away. It cost him about 2 seconds in the pit, several positions on the track. Earnhardt Jr. has told his crew his car will be very good at the end of a long run. 4 tires and fuel to Martin.
And Mark Martin is in. He was loose early on, as we saw very clearly on the television set. And then they got tighter the longer the run went. It'll be a 4-tire stop and a chassis adjustment for Mark Martin.
Kenny Wallace is now the leader, waiting his visit on pit road. Of those cars who came off the pit lane, Rusty Wallace far and away the clear winner. He's got about 3 seconds on Jeff Gordon and Bill Elliott. Gordon just passing Elliott on the speedway.
Kenny Wallace might be one of those cars that stopped earlier. We'll have to find out.
Well, I'll tell you here in just a second, BP. Let me grab the pit chart.
Back on lap 80. Here he comes now, so I guess he wasn't.
So Wallace in at 123. That'll put the lead over to Matt Kenseth now. And Marty Snyder covers the Kenny Wallace pit stop.
Well, this car's been all over the map today, Alan, for Kenny Wallace. He was tight on the first run, or rather loose on the first run, tight on this last run. They will make an adjustment on this car. It will be 4 tires for Kenny Wallace, who is filling in for the injured Steve Park. His best finish since he started filling in for Steve Park, 21st at Richmond. They think they have a car that can do much better than that today. 4-tire stop for Kenny Wallace.
Drivers on different pit stop schedules, the running order now is going to take on a very different look from what it has for most of the day. Matt Kenseth is now the leader. Kurt Busch is second. Dave Blaney third. Jeff Burton fourth. And Kevin LePage fifth. Then Robert Presley is sixth. Michael Waltrip seventh. Ken Schrader is eighth. Then you get back to Rusty Wallace, who's now ninth.
That's those cars that pitted on the caution flag on lap 80 that Wally and I wondered if they should pit or should not pit. Some of them chose to. They could still run probably for another 30 or 40 laps.
And out of those cars, let's not forget, Matt only took 2 tires. Is that right? And Jeff Burton took 4 tires. So that may come into play here in a little bit as well.
Their stops were on 82, Benny, and everybody's been getting 60 to 65 laps on fuel. So they've only got another 10 to 15 that they can run here before they'll have to stop.
Right now, he's got the 0-2 car, Ryan Newman, a lap down, although Newman is trying to get by Kenseth now to get back on the lead lap.
Newman back in 22nd place. And that's important that he get by Matt Kenseth in case the caution comes out.
You're exactly right. I was just thinking of that. You say, well, gee, why is he trying so hard? He knows Matt Kenseth's got to come in for a pit stop. But if their yellow were to come out, then automatically he's a lap. Ryan Newman would be lapped down.
So on a different pit stop schedule, Matt Kenseth is now the leader here in the Protection 1 400 at the Kansas Speedway. You're watching NASCAR on NBC. Down on the Kansas Speedway as Sprint PCS presents NASCAR Winston Cup Racing, the inaugural Winston Cup event here at this brand new $224 million track. And aerial shots from the Budweiser.com airship brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR. Enjoy, race fans.
And Bill Elliott has blown up. The engine has expired. He smoked off turn 4. He's down on the apron of the speedway. And we see a lot, well, maybe it didn't blow up. Something is wrong with the right rear tire. Did you see all the oil on the right rear?
If they had a seal or something like that?
I don't know.
We'll find out from pit road here in just a moment. The update on the Bill Elliott car. In the meantime, Kurt Busch has given up a top 5 spot to make his pit stop. Still Matt Kenseth and Dave Blaney and Jeff Burton and Kevin LePage out there waiting. Dave?
And Kurt Busch rolled in without power. The fuel light had been blinking. It did run out of fuel before he got down here. He was tight. They put a spring rubber in the right front. That usually makes it tighter, so they made a compensating wedge adjustment to the rear. Now they spray ether into the carburetor, into the air cleaner to try to get it started, and he does.
And Bill Elliott has made it back onto pit road. I thought I saw oil on the right rear. Maybe it was it does look like
oil, rubber, something right behind that right rear tire. Caution. Caution is out. Reports of oil. 8th caution flag of the race. And big, huge break for Matt Kenseth.
Well, not so big a break for Dale Jarrett, Mark Martin, Bobby Hamilton. Well, I don't know. Here they come. Bobby Hamilton gets a lap back. And here comes Mark Martin trying to get a lap back. And he will beat Kenseth to the line.
And that's what he was waiting for.
Yeah.
His teammate. Martin and Kenseth both driving for Jack Roush. So they'll get back on the lead lap, the 20th and 21st place cars.
And DJ did not make it.
Dale pinned right behind the pace car. Now, if you're Rusty Wallace, Jeff Gordon, guys that stopped earlier into the green, do you come in this time?
Well, let's see. We've got 130 laps to go. Yes. If you stop now, you can make it on one more stop. You got to stop twice anyway if you don't stop now.
They'll be coming.
Let's see how many of the leaders do come in and then explore the reasons why or why not. How about that? Kenseth, Blaney, Jeff Burton, big break for them. Michael Waltrip gets to stay on the lead lap. Kevin LePage, Robert Presley, Ken Schrader. They'll all be in. There's Rusty. Does he come in?
They are. Here comes Rusty, follows him in. Here comes Jeff Gordon, Sterling Marlin. All the cars on the lead lap will be pitted. Dave Burns, Kenseth is coming to you.
And what a great break for them, Benny. He was radioing in that he was a little bit tight. They're going to go a half a round up on the track bar and make an air pressure adjustment to make it even better for Matt. Matt Kenseth now getting his second set of tires on the left side and get it going. Marty?
No doubt in Rusty Wallace's mind whether or not to come down pit road, and no doubt about the call. 2 tires only for Rusty Wallace, a half pound in the right rear. He was a little bit tight. To Matt Yoakum.
And Ricky Rudd hits his marks. He entered pit road in the 15th position as a 24, and everyone else pulls away. This will be a 4-tire stop. They had an extended stop on their previous visit because they dropped the wedge wrench. And now Rudd is down and away.
Boy, did he lose a lot of track position.
I think that was a great call by Robin Pemberton.
And you know, the world is not the same as it used to be. Because it used to be, Rusty Wallace would never make a pit stop unless he changed 4 tires. And now Rusty Wallace changed to 2 tires. What's going on in the world today?
Wallace had been in at 119. So 20 laps later, didn't need the full can of fuel.
Maybe Rusty made that call. What do you think?
He might have. But by doing this, you expect, well, if they got to put a full 2 cans of fuel in, they will change 4 tires. Bill Elliott looks like he is back. He is out of the race, being pushed to the garage area. Burn a piston, they think. And I walked by this morning as the engine tuner was putting larger jets in the carburetor, larger jets to get him more fuel. And it still burned a piston.
Elliott led 33 laps today in search of his first win since 19 94. Not going to happen. Rusty Wallace wins the race off of pit road. He's back out in front here in Kansas City. Sprint PCS presents NASCAR Winston Cup racing on NBC from the new Kansas Speedway in Kansas City, Kansas. And we look down, courtesy of the United States Army, an Army of one. There are 212 ways to be a soldier. Find out more at GoArmy.com. Boy, did we just see some big pit strategy.
Oh, we saw a little bit of everything there. 2 tires, no tires, 4 tires, 6 tires.
6? Really? I need you to follow up on that with me. Check our Coca-Cola family of drivers and how their days are faring. Jeff Burton, big break on that last caution. Got him up into the top 10. Michael Waltrip, same for him. Big break on the caution, was able to get back up there with the leaders. Dale Jarrett struggling all day. John Andretti involved in an early accident. Bill Elliott has just gone out of the race, and we'll follow up with him in a moment. Still working to clean up some of the oil on the track, so let's take another break here. The leader's Rusty Wallace. You're watching NASCAR on NBC. Here's our Napa Field summary. Green flag pit stops have bolstered the number of different leaders and lead changes, but the big story of the day, cautions and caution flag laps. What a halting start we had to this one. A wreck in turn 1, lap 1, and the hits kept on a-coming very quickly thereafter. Out of the race, Casey Atwood, Todd Bodine, Ward Burton, and now Bill Elliott's car has gone back behind the wall. Accident, lap 1 for Atwood. Burton hit by Jerry Nadeau from behind, collected Todd Bodine, and then Elliott, who led this race for some 33 laps earlier in the day, but his chance to win went up in smoke just a minute ago. And we welcome you back to the Kansas Speedway. Alan Bestwick, Wally Dallenbach, and Benny Parsons. This brand new $224 million Speedway has been giving some drivers fits at the start. Kind of had a tough time getting this one going.
It's been pretty exciting, but I guess we pretty much expected. Everybody's trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack. That's where the grip. It looks like that outside groove's starting to come in, but BP not quite yet.
But just think how good this thing is going to be next year. When this pavement ages just a little bit, I think that next year this race will be a terrific race, and we'll see 2-3 wide racing.
Big pit strategy just played. We talked about it at the top of our broadcast. What happened on pit road today, because it's a little tough to pass on this new pavement, was not going to be just important, it was going to be critical.
And I think everybody's trying it out right now. They're trying 2 tires, they're trying no tires, 4 tires. That last pit stop is it's very, very important. Track position's everything here.
We saw Jeff Green yesterday run the entire last 100 miles without changing tires. Had a chance to stop with 20 laps to go, change tires, said no, I'll use the same tires. Track position is the key, and he ran faster laps the last 20 laps of the race than he run all day long.
Rusty Wallace's team with just 2 tires on their pit stop puts him out in front. Let's take a break while the cleanup continues. We'll be back to Kansas in just a minute on NBC. Let's get some updates on pit road before the restart. Marty?
Well, we talked about the varying strategies, no tires, 2 tires, 4 tires for many of these cars. Impressive stop by Rusty Wallace's bunch, because a lot of the cars behind them took on no tires. They took on 2 in 7.03 seconds. Got some fuel in the car as well. To Matt Yoakum.
And also an update here on Jeff Gordon. Down here in the 24, but they only took on 2 tires. Jeff says the car is still tight on both ends of the racetrack, but it is getting better with the changes that they've made over the previous stops with air pressure and chassis adjustments. But doing so, it's also hurt the car in entry, which is now a little bit more on the looser side. To Dave.
And Matt, the 25 car of Jarrett and Junior is going to do the same thing he did earlier today. Go to the back, make changes on the car, and try to drive it to the front. Crew Chief Tony Furr just told me they came in and changed no tires, then they came in and changed 4, and they just came in again and put a tape patch on the right front, made a chassis adjustment to try to get him better off of turn 4. Bill?
Dave, back here in the garage with car owner Ray Evernham. You come here with 2 good cars and high hopes and a disappointing finish. What happened to the 9?
We're not really sure yet, but possibly could have had our very first engine failure, and those things are going to happen. Right now, we're just not sure. Something broke internally, not sure exactly what it was.
You see some water coming out of the pipes?
Water and oil, and that's normally not a good mix. Went under the right rear tire there, and luckily Bill didn't crash.
Frustrated?
Yeah, you know, to a point it is, Bill. We came in here with high hopes, but our program is going better, and you know, like they say, this is just a sport. It's not life-threatening. Tomorrow we're all going to be happy and we're going to go to work, and we're just going to, I hate it more for our sponsors, the Dodge dealers and the UAW, and was hoping to get the car in victory lane, but if we keep doing what we're doing and getting there someday, it'll be our turn. Just wasn't today.
Thanks for stopping.
Thank you.
Very disappointing. Lost a car early in the race, then lost a very fast car here just past halfway. Back to Kansas in a moment.
And with us today at Kansas, the Budweiser.com airship, reminding all race fans that Budweiser is NASCAR's official beer. Beautiful day for a blimp flight.
I'm telling you, every day we've been here, we came in on Thursday and it was just like this, and it hasn't changed.
Do they have clouds in Kansas?
Evidently not.
We haven't seen any yet. Up next on NBC, coverage of the 2001 Gravity Games kicks off. High-flying freestyle motocross bikers and all the rest. That's next on NBC, and we're back under green.
Rusty Wallace trying to put a lap on the one car. Kenny Wallace, his younger brother.
Lead lap cars are the ones with the bubbles over the top of them. Just to show you how the lap cars are mixed into the situation.
DJ on the outside of Junior back there. Junior's the third spot. DJ, the 88, a lap down.
Rusty Wallace leads. Johnny Benson in the 10 is second. Then it's Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Mike Wallace up the track.
Looks like he scared the camera guy, and camera said, I want to get him wrecked. But Mike Wallace somehow saved the car. Ever see the 17 car, Matt Kenseth, who was the leader when his caution flag came out.
Kenseth running in 8th spot now. And we look ahead from that group to the leader. 2 tires for Rusty Wallace on his stop. Benson with fuel only in that 10 car to move up to second. Then behind them, the lap car of Dale Jarrett. Then you get back to the race for third between Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gordon. An update on Dale Jr. from Bill Weber.
No tires on that last stop for the 8-car Dale Earnhardt Jr. Allen, coming off the big win at Dover a week ago. We all know what this organization has been through since the tragic loss of Dale Earnhardt back at the Daytona 500 in February. They've been looking for wins to motivate their teams throughout the season. And last weekend at Dover, with Wilson along for the ride, Junior got a big one.
Last week was a relief. I mean, we really wanted to get another win before the year was out. And it came more sudden than I expected. And hopefully, man, we capitalize on some more strong efforts throughout the season and move ourselves up in points. We've got a legitimate shot at finishing third, and that's maybe what we're aiming for.
So Junior on a mission today, and just in case you joined us late, yes, Wilson is on board in the exact same seat that he had last week. That seat ended up in victory lane with Junior, of course, out.
Yeah, and hoisted high to the fans there at Dover. Not familiar with the story. Wilson, the volleyball character from the movie Castaway. Junior said he got lonely during the Southern 500, so they put somebody in there to keep him company. Marty?
Well, I was just going to add to what Bill was saying about Dale Earnhardt Jr. I did that interview with him, and afterward he said, you know what I really want? I'd love to finish third in points. I'd love to finish top 5, but what I really want, I just want to finish top 10 because I want to speak my piece at the end of the year, and that should be a very good preview for what should be coming up at the banquet for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Today, Burns.
Marty, Michael Waltrip was having a great run. They were on the lead lap. He was terrible on the beginning of the race, and they kept fixing it. Michael's talking now on the radio about having trouble with steering. They're in the left front looking at the suspension as well as the brakes. There's liquid and rubber on the left front wheel, they're saying now. And so, Michael, the handle all of a sudden went away, but they were having a great run, had adjusted the car, had gotten to where it was racy, and now Michael has to give up laps.
Yeah, I watched Michael the last couple of laps, and there was some smoke blowing out the left front wheel. So that obviously they must have had a power steering leak or something like that, lost the fluid. And these cars are awfully hard to turn when you have no fluid in your power steering.
And they've taken Michael's car behind the wall into the garage now.
You folks can understand that. You've killed the engine sometimes on your car with power steering and tried to turn it. Wow, is it a handful.
Dale Jarrett in the 88 and Kenny Wallace in the 1 are racing for position. Unfortunately for them, it's a lap down in 21st. And they're sandwiched right in between Jeff Gordon, the 4th place car, and the 5th place runner of Bobby Labonte. Let's get more on Dale Jarrett's day from Marty.
It's not been a very good day, but it was a good night last night for he and his team. Dale Jarrett was actually at an appearance with you, Alan, and his team was at a Royals baseball game, and now Dale Jarrett has a new friend. Here's how it came about. The team was in a suite at the Royals baseball game. Next to them was the owner and famous third baseman for the Royals, George Brett. Well, turns out George Brett's a huge racing fan. Honestly, he watches us every week, and he's a huge Dale Jarrett fan. So he came out and hung out with those guys. Called DJ on the cell phone. They arranged a meeting this morning. They met face-to-face, and already George Brett is planning to go to Talladega. They are fast friends, and George Brett is here today watching Dale Jarrett.
Well, I guess we can't say hello to George Brett then. Watching us on the tube. I guess he's here.
George is here. Joe Montana is here. I guess George is up here in one of the suites, so we can't put a camera on him. But I understand Joe Montana's here. Brooks and Dunn, you saw them sing the national anthem earlier, the superstar country music duo.
And of course, Benny and I are here.
That's right. And the biggest problem for most of these guys, Rusty Wallace is here.
Yeah. It's all about you, isn't it, Walt?
Always.
Rusty Wallace's lead is 7/10 of a second on Johnny Benson. Rusty's led on 2 different occasions today. He has led the most laps so far in this race. 62, the 161 that have been run. And let's get more on his day from Marty.
I think the team is honestly right now surprised that Rusty is being so fast out on the racetrack, Alan. They were very good in final practice yesterday, and that's been the case several times this year. Rusty Wallace has been very good in final practice. They would come out on Sunday, the car would not be as good. In fact, their only win this season came at California. Put California in final practice there. They were terrible. Robin Pemberton said he was really surprised that the car was that good at California. He said, ask me at halfway, and if we're leading it up front, then I'll believe the car is good. I think they believe now the car is just fine for Rusty Wallace.
Looking down on Rusty from the U.S. Army Skycam, an Army of 1. This is the 6th time the Winston Cup Circuit has competed on a 1.5-mile track so far this season. Rusty's best finish in the previous 5 1.5-mile track races was a 12th.
The question of how all this strategy is going to start playing out, I think you'll see in the next 10 or 15 laps. You'll start seeing where the tires are.
I think it's starting to play out already as I watch the monitor here. The last lap, Rusty Wallace, at the top 6 cars, 4 of them were faster than Rusty Wallace.
Okay, and Jeff Gordon is one of the fastest.
A lot of those guys are on similar tires, though. Right? I mean, Gordon got 2 tires on his stop. Rusty got 2.
Benson
got none.
Take any.
And Dale Jr. got none. See the interval from Rusty Wallace back to 4th place Jeff Gordon.
We can see as Rusty comes off the corner, he is extending his margin on Jeff Gordon.
Now, update on the championship. The point leader, Jeff Gordon, runs 4th. Where does his rival, Ricky Rudd, run? Go ahead, you say that 5 times fast.
Boy, oh boy.
He's back in 12th.
Back in 12th.
Rudd has led on 2 different occasions for a total of 6 laps today. Started the race in 8th position. 212 points down at the beginning if they pass out the points now.
And he still looked like, to me, he looks like he's struggling through the center of the corner the most. How about it, Matt? Got anything for us?
Wally, I just spoke with Fatback, Michael Flame, Ricky Rudd's Coochie. The car is tight and has actually gotten tighter and they're just trying to hold on until the next stop and see if they can try another round of adjustments to try to loosen that race car up. It just will not cut.
Yeah, that's what it looks like here, man. I mean, he's getting down in the corner pretty good, but right when he gets through the center, the car slides up the racetrack, and you can see he probably could pull up on the back of Dave Blaney's car, but that is going to make his front end worse.
Trying to get the 11th spot away from Dave Blaney, the Ohio driver in the 93. Blaney, one of those guys that short-pitted earlier on a caution flag, then got the break when all the leaders stopped under green. It got him back in sync and back up front.
29 car right. Yeah, he's got part of the valence, it looks like, maybe. I know.
I think that's just
or something.
I think it's that rubber strip that goes down the right side of the car. Matt, do they know what it is?
No, they sure don't, Benny. But I'll tell you what, polling a number of crew chiefs this morning, they all thought the 29 car would be the car to beat, especially after his run at Chicago. But Kevin Harvick reporting in the car is absolutely horrible. It's tight, tight, tight. On the last stop, they only took out 2 tires rather than 4. And they also were going to put a rubber in the right rear to help free up that race car, but instead they just took down the 2 tires. And you know, there's been a lot of speculation, guys, about what number this car would carry next year. Whether it would revert back to the 3 or stick with the 29. It was announced this morning that Kevin Harvick will stick with the number 29, but go back to a silver and black paint scheme. They feel like Harvick has created his own identity using the 29, so they're going to let him carry it on.
Yeah, Richard Childerson, unveiling that car, said it was now up to NASCAR to decide the future use of the number 3 in Winston Cup racing. Harvick stepped up to the microphone at the press conference and said he felt the pressure now was on NASCAR to do the right thing with the number 3. Obviously hinting that he felt it should be retired from future use. 170 laps complete, 98 to go here at Kansas Speedway. Rusty Wallace is your leader. Rusty Wallace is your leader. Out in front with 92 laps to go. He's led the most laps so far today, seeking what would be his second win of the 2001 NASCAR Winston Cup season. Jeff Burton having a strong run on the lead lap, back in 9th place now as we check in on Jeff. Talked with Jeff and a number of other drivers earlier this weekend. This is another mile-and-a-half racetrack. Been a lot of discussion about the proliferation all of a sudden of mile-and-a-half tri-oval speedways that have been constructed in recent years, and we talked with Jeff about that very topic. He said cookie-cutter racetracks are not the way to go.
I'm not a big fan of running the same racetrack in different cities. Part of what makes racing fun is going to a lot of different racetracks, and that's how the Winston Cup Championship has been determined, and that's how we need to make sure it's always determined, is that the team that's able to be diverse and run a lot of different racetracks at a high level, that's the kind of team that has success. The more of these 1.5 mile cookie cutter racetracks that we build, it takes some of that away.
Using the phrase cookie cutter, describing similar tracks. This track very similar to Las Vegas. The new Chicagoland track very similar to Las Vegas. When that Vegas Speedway opened in '97, Benny, the drivers went there and said, this is the perfect racetrack for Winston Cup cars.
And I think the racetrack still, the drivers love to run at Las Vegas Motor Speedway because it's fairly easy, it's smooth, it's wide. The problem is that you get a lot of racing like this. Follow the leader. And I think that the fans want to see these guys side by side.
Is that a function of the fact that the corners have lower banking than, say, a Daytona or a Charlotte?
I think that the cars themselves have graduated to the point that lends itself to that. These cars are so dependent on air to get around the corners that once they get around other cars and start getting in that what we call dirty air, then all of a sudden you lose the handle on the race car.
A lot of folks are saying that when the next racetrack gets built, which given the state of the economy might be a little while, but when the next track is built, why not build another Richmond or another Bristol?
I think, and I really believe that this racetrack or Chicagoland Speedway, if the ISC people had to do over again, if today they start with a clean sheet of paper, I think we would see something like a Bristol or a Richmond. But 3 or 4 years ago when this process started, this looked like the thing to do. And another thing, this racetrack is only going to get one NASCAR Winston Cup race. And they feel like that they need other events to help pay for it. And the only only other circuit that's going is the open wheel circuit. So they need a racetrack like this rather than, say, at Richmond. I don't know how good that open wheel race was at Richmond. It might have been the greatest.
I think it was a good race. It was a real good race. So I think that opened the doors up for the Indy cars to look at places like Richmond and say, yeah, we can hold events on these 3/4 mile. Of course, they run at miles now.
But again, remember, and by the way, you mentioned the initials ISC. That's International Speedway Corporation, a publicly traded company that owns a number of speedways now in the Winston Cup circuit. The Las Vegas track opened in '97. This speedway's been 5 years in the making. You don't change directions on building a speedway overnight. 5 years ago, they said, this is the perfect racetrack. And so Chicago and here at Vegas were Kansas rather, were designed on the perfect racetrack at the time.
Let's get back to what we've got going on right now, which is a terrific race. Rusty Wallace passed a couple of cars that allowed Benson and Junior to pull up right behind him, and Junior appears to be the fastest of the 3 cars right now.
No tires on his last pit stop for Junior.
Doesn't matter. Jeff Green yesterday in the NASCAR Busch Series race did not change tires, and he ran as fast as that. Oh, and Benson blows up.
Right in front of Junior. Caution. Benny, you talked about it a while ago. What kind of strain was going to be put on the engines on this racetrack?
Oh, they're talking about the front stretch, especially the fastest part of the racetrack. These guys are going to be turning the engine just excessively.
Benny, Johnny Benson just radioed in that it blew up. He thought he smelled oil about 20 laps ago, but kept pushing it. Thought he was closing in on Rusty Wallace, but said it just let go. Just blew up, he said, just blew up.
While he was running second and chasing down the leader.
That's too bad. And another thing that they talked about this morning in the garage area, the gear ratio that you need in the rear of the car that determines RPMs, they caught them between gear ratios. They needed one. It was the one they used was too much. The one that they had to use, maybe not enough.
There you go. Can't see much here, can you?
How ugly is that to a race car driver?
And that was oil on that screen, and that's what's all over the front of Dale Jr.'s windshield right now.
Nice job of keeping that car out of the wall.
Well, now then, they're going to stop, change 4 tires, and a gas and go with a few laps to go. Is that what's going to happen, or?
Pretty much have to stop here, don't you? Everybody was in at 138. We're at 185 now. And here come the leaders. Question is, will it be 2 tires? Will it be 4? Maybe none. We'll find out. Bill?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. said he doesn't care what tires you put on it. Just put 4 on it, and here we go. It scuffs on the front. It looks like they might be going with a sticker on the right rear and a scuff on the left rear. So it's 4 tires and fuel for Earnhardt. Marty?
A little tight, Bill, for the leader, Rusty Wallace. It'll be a ½ pound out of the right front, ½ pound out of the left rear, and 4 tires to Matt Yoakum.
The call for Jeff Gordon is 4 scuffed tires and 2 6-inch pieces of black duct tape. Also, they went down a ½ pound on both left side tires because he was still tight to Dave.
And Matt Kenseth and crew chief Robbie Reiser discussed 3 separate adjustments before they decided. In fact, one, Reiser said, I've never done that before. They finally chose to make a wedge adjustment to the right rear to help correct a tight condition.
Fuel only for Jerry Nadeau. He's going to come off pit road with the lead. Rusty Wallace will come out second. Nadeau's team goes for only gasoline.
So that means that they're going to try to run the rest of the race without changing tires, because trust me when I tell you, Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, they've seen their last tire today unless there's something drastically wrong with the ones they have on there now.
Jeff Gordon comes off pit road 3rd, Dale Earnhardt Jr. 4th, Bobby Labonte is 5th, and Ricky Rudd moves up to 6th on his pit stop. 82 laps to go here in Kansas. New leader is Jerry Nadeau. Here's our pit summary.
And you can see not a lot of change except Sterling Marlin goes from 4th all the way back to 9th.
Jerry Nadeau is 13th coming in. He's the leader now. No tires.
Pass to the right.
He got fuel only on his pit stop. As we get on to the restart, the bubbles are over the lead lap cars.
25, the leader. 2 is second. 24 is third.
And I would think Rusty is going to try to get by the 25 and go as fast as he can.
Off turn 4 would be a good place if Rusty could get it turned, get under Jerry Nadeau. But Nadeau appears to have a pretty doggone good race car.
Kenny Wallace in between the second and third place runners, not on the lead lap. Let's get more on Jerry Nadeau's team's call. Dave?
I did check with the team, Alan, and they put tires on about 50 laps ago. He was fastest at the end of the run. In fact, he called in for lap times compared to the leader, and Tony for his crew chief wouldn't even tell him. He just told him, you are the fastest car on the track. So they decided to stay with what they had.
Looking to run 129 laps on one set of tires if he goes to the finish from when he did take fresh rubber.
Oh, see Blaney around, and somehow the 4 car goes just below it.
And Michael Waltrip also into the wall behind him.
Some heavy damage to Michael's left side.
Ninth caution. Sorry, Benny. That went from bad to worse in a hurry for Mikey.
Here the cars come back, racing for the line.
Michael Waltrip starting to unbuckle. His day ending against the turn 4 wall while the field is gathered up by the pace car. Let's hear from the man who was running second till shortly ago. Bill?
And that would be Johnny Benson. You had a great run going, but you had the hint there might be a problem.
Well, no, we didn't. I mean, at first I thought I smelled a little bit of oil about 10 laps before that, but I thought maybe it's coming off rusty. I was hoping. But then it just went away. Just did that just for a little bit, which is sometimes normal during the race. But Valvoline Pontiac was really good, and like I say, we're just doing a great job. The guys doing a tremendous job, and man, just getting that close and kind of hoping to win one here in James' hometown.
And you had a strong piece, didn't you?
We did. I mean, we had room to make it a little bit better. We've been working on it as the race gets going, and thought we were going to make some big money for Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America, plus the race team. But it wasn't meant to be. Hendrick's building us great engines all year long. Ain't going to complain at all. Like I say, every once in a while you have a little failure, and that's fine. I'm glad we're running good. I mean, that's fine. So I guess, real good thanks to them, and everybody on this race team been doing a tremendous job.
See you in Charlotte.
All right, thanks.
Johnny Benson.
Leaders are staying on the racetrack as Michael Waltrip extricates himself from his battered Chevy.
Let's see if we could, what in the world might have happened in this incident. We're on board with Tony Stewart, and it's 3 or 4 cars up in front.
He just lost it.
This car just jumped out from under him. Now that was the Blaney automobile. Now what might have happened to Michael Waltrip, I'm not sure. But we know he's going to spin around and hit the wall hard with the left side.
Might have seen the first spin and got off the gas and got run into from behind.
That would be a good possibility.
And so they hook up the remains of Michael's car. Blaney fired his car up, drove it around, and even stayed on the lead lap here in Kansas City. What lesson have we learned from that? Don't ever ride with Tony Stewart in the snow.
No, I don't.
I will. That looked cool.
Stewart right now motoring around on the lead lap in 13th spot. Let's get some updates from pit road. Matt?
Kevin Harvick's stop took a little longer than expected because NASCAR made the team cut off this side skirt, which had started the drag wall you talked about earlier. They also made an air pressure adjustment on the left side tires, went down a half a pound in both to try to help his tight race car. To Marty Snyder.
Well, Matt, it has not been a good day for Tony Stewart, although that skiing looked like a lot of fun, but they have really struggled on the racetrack. As you said, Alan, running in the 13th position right now. Their car has been tight. They have not been able to loosen up. No matter how many times they've tried to make adjustments to it, it still continues to be tight. Biggest concern, they're only 9 points ahead of Dale Jarrett for 4th in the points. Today, Burns.
Kevin LePage came in, topped off with fuel. They think they can go to the rest of the way.
And that's the car that's on the lead lap.
19th place, last one on the lead lap. There are 72 laps to go as they come to the stripe.
And not having that pizza skirt is not going to help the 29 car, Kevin Harvick. That helps stick the car. So having them take that off is going to be a little bit of a disadvantage.
Lead lap cars are the ones with our Williams race chase markers over them. The other cars mixed in there are not on the lead lap. And you see the front three cleared the traffic.
Well, now Rusty's got a scuff set of tires for this restart, so we'll see what happens. Looks like he got through 3 and 4 a little bit better than he did before this yellow.
It looks to me like that his car is handling a little bit better after he has a few laps on these tires. Nadeau goes up the hill. Can Rusty get on the ramp? Doesn't look like it. Maybe that's the line that Nadeau has found that lets his car run the best.
Place Dale Earnhardt Jr. has 2 lap cars separating himself from these front 3. Let's go to Bill Weber.
With Michael Welcher back here in the Wheatstreet Cup garage, what happened?
Whoever spun out off the board, and I just went to throw up my hand and back off. Nothing drastic, and evidently Derek, he didn't know anything about it. He just ran over top of me. We had a pretty competitive day going. We came in here and had to fix the spindle that seal went out of, but certainly had a good car and was looking forward to running the rest of the race and learning, but we had that taken away. So a bad day for the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. We'll just have to come back and get them next week at Charlotte. You okay? I feel fine. Hi, Macy. Her birthday was yesterday and she wasn't here. So happy birthday, sweetheart.
57 car, Derek Michael referring to as Derek Cope.
The 0-1 car opposite of Jason Leffler on the inside of Tony Stewart, taking a spot away. That's 13th. And here comes Ryan Newman to try to take 14th away from Stewart. And does.
Hear him have to wait on the gas there. Rusty Wallace still applying pressure to Jerry Nadeau, but not able to get by yet.
And I think Rusty's car is a little bit tighter behind the 25. That's why he can't make the move. He's getting that aero tight that we talked about. Right there. Up the back. That's where he wants to be. Now he's got some air pushing on the left front part of that fender. And he should be able to drive underneath 25. 25's not making it easy for him.
No, he certainly isn't. Nadeau does not want to give up that lead. And I don't blame him, and he shouldn't. And that's twice that Rusty Wallace has gone down in turn 1, and the car just will not turn, pushes up the racetrack.
Now, Rusty can get close enough to Jerry Nadeau get to the corner. He can get Jerry loose, arrow loose. That's what he's trying to do, but I'm not sure he can get there because it's not turning.
Here comes Rusty. He's got to run this time. See ya, Jerry. Jim Ford said, see ya, Jerry.
So Nadeau's team, the gamble does not pay off. Not in a win anyway, not yet. Wallace to the point, Gordon to second, Nadeau to third. Dale Jr. has now cleared the lap traffic. He is in 4th. And you've got Ricky running 5th.
Go on board with Jeff Gordon, check out some telemetry, see what kind of RPM, what kind of mile per hour that he might be turning. This is down the backstretch, the slowest part of the racetrack. And we see around 190 miles per hour, almost 8,800 RPMs around that. Front stretch should be a little bit more in speed and RPMs. Let's see if he's going to turn. Oh, Wallace about 9,000 RPMs. And that's a bunch, isn't it, Marty?
Oh, yeah, that's a lot, Benny. And Robin Pemberton, Rusty Wallace's crew chief, these guys are normally known for creating a lot of horsepower, as is Jeff Gordon's team. You see Jeff Gordon chasing Rusty Wallace on the racetrack. Robin and I were talking this morning. He said during qualifying for Rusty Wallace, he turned 9,600 RPMs. That ties the most RPMs they have ever turned on a racetrack.
Wow. Rusty Wallace, we saw him there, over 9,000 RPMs. As he tries to stay in front of Jeff Gordon. And you say, why would he turn more RPMs than Jeff Gordon? Because he isn't trying to win a championship. And RPMs, those are the things that kills engines.
Hey, Rusty looks awfully tight right now this early in the run.
He just cannot keep that car on the bottom where it needs to be.
Rusty Wallace came here to test on the 16th and 17th of September. Rather limited the track time that they were able to get in. But it felt like they'd learned enough to be competitive here this weekend. He has led the most laps today by far. He's led 3 times as many as the next driver. Wallace out in front for 92 of the 206 circuits so far.
Rusty's taking that car down to the bottom of the racetrack, getting in the corner. It looks like that's where he wants to stay, but the car will not stay down. He goes down to the white line, but watch as he comes off, how the car will drift up. That was not a bad corner by Rusty Wallace.
But in the meantime, the 24 was on the bottom the whole time. Just getting through the corners a little bit better than Rusty.
Just 1 week ago at Dover, Jeff Gordon started well deep in the field and had to dodge a lot of mayhem to come up with a top 5 finish and protect his championship lead. He's ahead of Ricky Rudd now. Rudd is back in 5th. And he may lose 5th spot. Sterling Marlin goes through.
And Sterling Marlin, the 40 car, they have had an awfully good car all day long. We're talking to Lee McCall, the crew chief this morning. Said, what kind of changes did you make this morning? He said none. Sterling was very, very happy with the car in happy hour. And Sterling, if he could get track position one time, get in front, he'd probably be very difficult to pass.
Just a couple of car lengths between the top 2. What's the distance back to the 4th place car, Dale Earnhardt Jr.? There he is.
2 1/4 seconds.
What are you reaching for there, Junior? Wasn't for Wilson.
No. That's a volleyball that he has in his car. He was telling the crew coming back from Darlington, he felt like he was stranded down at Darlington, out there by himself. He said he felt almost like Tom Hanks in the movie Castaway. So the guys bought him a volleyball, painted it up, and called it Wilson, just like the one in the movie. So now when he gets lonely, he's got someone to talk to. A volleyball. What a sad state of affairs.
Isn't it easier just to push that button on the steering wheel and talk to a crew chief?
I would think so.
Matt?
Well, Benny, I'll tell you what, you're talking about Wilson at an appearance on Friday night. You wouldn't believe it, but there were actually 8 to 10 Wilsons in the audience. Now race fans are taking it upon themselves and getting up their own Dale Earnhardt Jr. official Wilson volleyball. So you can imagine how another trend is started by Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And getting them autographed by Earnhardt, putting them on a mantle, huh?
Earnhardt Jr.'s last lap by a little bit slower than the leader, so he's losing ground to Wallace and Gordon right now.
Yes, see the gap. He was 2 1/4 seconds. He's now almost 2 1/2 seconds right now. But it doesn't look like Jeff Gordon is losing too much ground to Rusty Wallace.
Sticking right with him. fuel to the finish. Strategy going to be a question. We'll talk about it when we come back to Kansas City on NBC. 50 laps to go as Sprint PCS presents NASCAR Winston Cup Racing from Kansas City. The duel right now setting up between Rusty Wallace and Jeff Gordon over who's going to hold the inaugural winner's trophy here.
And I think you're right, Alan. I think that's what he's doing. Jeff's car was awfully strong right now.
An even 1,000 laps Rusty's led on the season so far.
And that is very, very impressive. Especially the fact that he really hasn't been very competitive the last few races.
Wallace and Gordon have moved out ahead of Jerry Nadeau by 2.1 seconds. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is 2.7 back. Then it is 6.2. The fifth place, Sterling Marlin. The rest of the top 10, Matt Kenseth, Ricky Rudd, who's fallen back to 7th now. Jeff Burton, Bobby Labonte, and Mark Martin, who's very quietly picked his way back into the top 10.
Boy, Jeff Gordon's car looks awfully good right there.
Last pit stops for the leaders came at lap 185 of 267. A little bit far to make it on one tank of fuel if the race goes green from here to the finish.
Well, the 4 car made that pit stop for fuel. He's going to try to go the rest of the way without stopping. We know that Rusty's got to stop. We know the 24. We know every car out there on the lead lap, probably with the exception of the 4, know they have to stop again.
Why don't we find out what some of the crew chiefs have to say about their potential strategies toward the finish? Marty Snyder.
Rusty Wallace is the leader right now as crew chief Robin Pemberton. And Robin, car looks a little tight right now.
Yeah, it's a little tight. We've been fighting it all day long. It's pretty good. Biggest problem is what's behind us.
How much longer can you stay out? When do you have to come down pit road?
Look about 30 laps, probably 25 to 30 laps.
All right, and it probably will be fuel only for Rusty Wallace. To Matt Yoakum.
And Jeff Gordon currently is following the 2-car up, Rusty Wallace and Robbie Loomis is crew chief. Robbie, how is that race car? When are you going to stop?
Right now, you know, the car's gotten better and better all day long. You know, we're just going to see what happens. We've got a long way to go. Everybody's got another pit stop. I take this time to say hello to Gwendolyn and Deborah Payne. They're home.
Now, Jeff was concerned about getting too close to the 2-car because it's going to raise his temperatures. What'd you tell him?
Yeah, I told him, you know, just take care of it. The engine guys felt like the oil tanks would be okay. We had to put some more tape on the front of that thing to get the downforce so that those guys would kill it.
Jeff Gordon looking for his 3rd inaugural win. Dave Burns.
And we're with Tony Furr now, the crew chief for the 25 car of Jerry Nadeau. Do you need to stop again? We know you're low on tire wear.
Well, not really. Goodyear's bought a pretty good tire here today, and tires really look good. I think we can run the rest of the day, to be honest with you, maybe more than that.
How close are you on fuel, Tony?
Well, we're like everybody else. Everybody's going to have to stop somewhere around 245, 250.
All right, they hope they can make it, Bill.
With Tony Eury Sr., crew chief for Dale Earnhardt Jr. You got to stop one more time. What are you going to do?
Well, I really don't know now. It's according on where the caution comes out. If it goes green, I'm still sure everybody will probably just stop for fuel on. I think we've got to stop like last 252 or something like that. So surely nobody will put tires on me. So just have to wait to see if the caution comes out next.
Okay, that's the story from pit road, Alan.
All right, Bill, it's going to be interesting. Ken Schrader smoking. It's being black flagged. No caution yet, though.
But it looks like the car is still running at a pretty good speed.
He's on the lead lap in 17th place, but you can see him waving his hand to signal those behind him. And he's heading in.
Battle for the lead. Jeff Gordon is there. Coming off turn 2. He's got position. Rusty has no choice. Does he? Oh, yes, he does.
But now here's where he'll push up the racetrack. 24 clip. Right back under. Didn't get too much room there.
Good run off that corner.
Rusty maintains the lead.
Earlier in the race, we saw Rusty and Bill Elliott dueling for the lead. And every time they came off of turn 4, and Bill had to run under Rusty, Rusty just out-pulled him down his front side.
See, Rusty was grabbing for something there. I don't know what. He stuck his hand out the window, and it's almost like he was reaching for something on the windshield.
Ken Schrader on pit road, some kind of an oil leak. Schrader saw the smoke coming up through the shifter boot. NASCAR has asked them to shut it off. They're going to jack it up, put some stacks, some jack stands underneath, and try and tighten up some oil lines, see if that does it. Look at the windshield of Rusty's car. Wally, you said looked like he was reaching for something.
That's what he's trying to do. He was trying to actually stick his hand out to pull out the tear-off. The tear-off is scrunched up on the windshield, and that lap I saw him reach his hand out the windshield. How about Marty?
Well, you're exactly right. That's what he was trying to do, trying to pull the tear off and then let it go. And what that does is it basically cleans the windshield for these guys. There's a little piece of plastic that goes over the top of the windshield that catches all the dirt. When they come down pit road, normally the pit crew members will pull it off and throw it away. Rusty was trying to do it on the racetrack. Looks like it didn't work too well.
Yeah, and that's very aggravating. It doesn't look like he's completely blocked by that view, but it's definitely in his way a little bit.
It is in his way because he only looks out that very little part of the windshield there.
We'll get that tear off in about 20 laps.
Robert Pendleton, the crew chief, talking to Rusty.
Right now, he's hoping every lap that it'll blow off, and it could blow off before he has to come.
Oh, we got a car. Is that Junior? That's hit the wall hard.
Front fourth place. Caution's out. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in trouble with 39 laps to go, running in the top 5. That's too bad.
Looks like an accident very similar to the one that Mike Skinner had at Chicagoland Speedway. You see the crew, the safety crew has walked up to Junior, talking to him. He's taking the steering wheel off. That's a good sign.
He's throwing it off. That's even a better sign, really. Well, now it's a big question on. I would think most of the guys would just go fuel only.
Fuel only.
38 laps to go.
Yep. Rusty Wallace will probably have a chassis adjustment to his car, but they can do that and put fuel in at the same time.
Here come the leaders onto pit road. Don't see anybody on the lead lap that'll stay out. Let's cover the stops. First, Dave Burns.
Even though Jerry Nadeau said my left front tire isn't doing much, they are only going to take 2 tires and fuel. Tony First said, don't wait on anything. They will take the tires now. Don't leave the catch can in, Bill.
Sterling Marlin gambled and won at Michigan. Gambling here, fuel. Marty?
Rusty Wallace is already away. They'll lever 2 right side tires, a pound in the right rear to Matt Yocum.
2 tires for Jeff Gordon. He's down and away. His car was a little bit tight. They were going to gamble, Dave. They were not going to take any tires, but they changed their mind at the last minute.
And Matt, the last thing that Tony Furr told his crew is make sure you pull that catch can out. Jerry started to leave his pit with the catch can in the car. He stopped alertly when Tony yelled on the radio to do so, but he lost valuable time as they pulled the catch can out.
We're continuing around the Dale Earnhardt Jr. car. Marty?
And guys, here's the tearaway from Rusty Wallace's car. He said, I don't care if you get the whole thing, just get the part that I messed up out on the racetrack. This was very bent. They pulled it away. He got away very quickly. A great stop for these guys, 7.3 seconds.
All right, who won the battle off pit road? Was it Rusty Wallace or was it Ricky Rudd? It was very, very close.
But watch Rusty pass, pick it up just a little after he passed Mark Martin. Watch him pass Ricky Rudd.
But there's the line. Ricky Rudd is clearly to the line first, according to that shot.
Now, if we can go back and watch that at full speed, it will illustrate how much Rusty was speeding on pit road, for which he's being penalized.
Really?
That was my point.
Oh.
You watch him when Mark Martin comes out of his stall, Rusty goes out onto the grass to pass him. Then when he sees Ricky Rudd nosing out, he steps on the gas and zooms to try and beat Rudd to that line. And he got tagged for speeding by NASCAR. Penalty for that, the end of the longest line on the restart. Goodbye chance to win. Let's check some replays. First, what happened to Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
Well, it's hard to tell. He's already in the wall. Let's go on board. We see the fire coming out from the back of the 8 car once again. On board, listen to this.
I didn't hear a tire go down, but it sure looked like a tire.
Turn 1, guys. 10-4. You all right, Junior?
That thing just quit turning.
I don't know, because I did not hear the tire go down. Normally you hear the tire explode when it's low or has run over something.
It looks like they're all up unless the right front is down, which we didn't get a very good look at it.
Crushed in now too.
Yeah.
So Dale Jr. has gone for the mandatory ride to the infield care center, and we'll follow up with him, but out of the race from 4th position after that so far unexplained crash in turn 1. Rusty Wallace back on pit road. Marty?
Well, Alan, Rusty is usually very excitable, but on the radio he was very calm. He accepted the penalty, and Robin Pemberton and he had a conversation about what they will do when they do hit pit road. They will take on left flat tires here. They will then serve the penalty of just coming down pit road. They'll have to go to the tail end of the longest line, and as you mentioned, Alan, the shot to win probably is now gone, but they do have 4 fresh tires, can probably gain some track position.
And Bob Labonte, the 18 car, is in, working on the right front of his car. You saw that little bit. We see the work going on Bobby Labonte's car.
It's Jeff Chandler there.
You saw that little bit of fire out of Dale Earnhardt's car after he hit the wall up there. We have in our side of our virtual garage, we have an explanation of what happens there. It's the fuel pump that sits over next to the frame wheel. Let's go inside as we peel back the body on our car. Up. There you see the fuel pump. And there you see the lines going to the fuel pump. And there's the frame rail. Right behind it, you see the headers. The frame rail, when it hit the wall, goes in, breaks those lines off the fuel pump. The gasoline sprays back on those red hot headers, and that's where that brief fire comes from.
And so they tow Dale Jr.'s car back into the garage. He'll join Johnny Benson, Michael Waltrip, Bill Elliott, Ward Burton, Todd Bodine, and Casey Atwood. His car's out of this Kansas City inaugural. 1 to go is the signal at the start-finish line. And my, how the championship picture has changed now. Ricky Rudd is leading, and Jeff Gordon is back in 5th.
And Mark Martin has quietly moved into 2nd.
Now, I talked about Rusty getting out of his pit stall and speeding off the pit lane. Let's watch it now as he comes out of his box.
We see
right up there.
There he is. He's starting to move. Mark Martin is starting to move as well. And watch Rusty as he goes over and almost runs in the grass. And there he sees Rudd. He tries to beat him to the line.
What's the matter, Wall?
That cracks me up.
Guilty?
Rusty saw Ricky coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they forgot about everything last week. I forgot. He saw that 28 car, and he was going to beat him out of the pits.
No, I don't think it had anything to do with last week. I think he knew he needed to get out first.
Okay.
Matt?
Well, I'm down here in the 28 pit, and Michael Fatback was swaying. You guys gambled, didn't take on any tires. The 24 took on 2. You think your no tires will hold off his 2 fresh?
Well, I think so. I mean, 2 tires is tighter and traffic is tighter. So I see my buddy do it yesterday, and he had good success with it, so we thought we'd give it a try today.
And this is the kind of way that you guys, you told me before the race, you wanted to win the championship this way, racing for it.
Be ready.
Yeah, the only way we're going to beat Jeff Gordon is we got to win races, win races, win races.
And we're back to green.
33 laps to go.
Michael McSwain told me this morning in the garage area, the winner today will be decided in the pits. Let's see if he was correct.
Boy, Ricky, that did exactly what he needed to do, was get clear of those lap cars. And now Martin is stuck on the outside. He clears 31.
97 car of Kurt Busch is the lap car between the top 2. He's back in 18th place. First car Then you've got Martin, who's running second. Next lead lap car in that mix is Matt Kenseth in the yellow number 17, and he's boxed in a little bit of traffic.
Not anymore. He gets alongside Robbie Gordon, and away he goes and brings Jeff Gordon right along with him.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has just come from the infield care center. Dave Burns is with him.
Junior, you were on your way to your 3rd straight top 5, and then what happened?
Well, I think we blew a right front tire. Felt the vibration about 2 laps before that, and it was getting pretty bad. And I just told the guys to get the pits ready that I was going to come on in. And I told them out on the front straightaway, the tire blew out going into one. Just needed another half a lap. But what a great racetrack, Kansas City. This is a lot of fun. My car was driving itself out there. Wasn't putting a lot of pressure on it or anything. It was just going around and around, and we was keeping up with them guys, and I thought he was going to get us 3rd place or something like that and move up into points, but it's definitely going to set us back. So
you weren't injured in any way, Dale?
No, it was a hell of a hit, but I took it in stride, man, just like always.
He always does, and he'll be back again, Alan.
That Junior's a piece of work, isn't he?
Go get him at Charlotte, Dale. So Junior is out while running in 4th spot. Ricky Rudd is now the leader. Jeff Gordon is trying to catch the top few. He was challenging Rusty Wallace for the win moments ago.
BP, you can go for a while here.
You can.
I just saw it happen in turn 2.
I did too. I saw Nemechek have a problem getting off turn 2, and they went 3 wide under him.
29. Oh, car in the wall, headed down to turn 1. Oh, that was...
How in the world?
Matt Kenseth. He hit the outside wall coming through the tri-oval and rocketed back across through traffic.
How did nobody hit him?
I don't understand that. Oh my goodness, now that really looks like Skinner's car.
He came from the bottom of the racetrack at the start-finish line up to the outside wall, halfway between the stripe and turn 1, then right back across through traffic.
And that you would think is definitely a blown right front tire on something like that, for him to shoot up the track like that. Well, let's take a look.
Watch this.
Yep, blown right front tire.
There we see the tire come apart. Now this is the amazing thing. Watch as he goes back across the racetrack. He has no steering, and these cars are going in the corner at 200 miles per hour, and somehow they miss him. How did they do that?
On board, Tony Stewart.
Did he touch him?
Yeah,
he did touch him.
Yep.
Could hear the thunk. Bill?
Yeah, he just radioed in what you've already pointed out and what we just saw, that the right front went down. Just he's very lucky, and give some credit not only to the drivers on that, but spotters that jumped on the radio in a hurry to help out their guys.
Sure did. So we're under caution again here at Kansas. It has been a rough day. This is the 11th yellow of this 400-mile inaugural. At the Kansas Speedway, our Pepsi race recap, 75,000 in on a beautiful day for this track's inaugural Winston Cup event. It got ugly, turn 1, lap 1. Casey Atwood and Stacy Compton got together, took John Andretti out of the race. Buckshot Jones tapped from behind into the outside wall. The cautions kept on coming. Lap number 60. Kurt Busch with a spin off of turn 4. Somehow got away with it. Didn't hit anything. Lap 68. Into turn 1, Jerry Nadeau runs over the back of Ward Burton. Todd Bodine collected. Hard crash for those two. Both done for the day, but okay. Though Mr. Burton a little less than pleased with the guy who had been behind him on the track. Compton's loose race car finally got away from him in turn number 2. Into the outside wall. He's back in the race after a trip to the garage for repairs. Bill Elliott, one of the dominant drivers, led a good bit of this race. Out, though, with an engine failure. His chance to win. Done. Move ahead, lap 184, just ahead of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Johnny Benson loses an engine, running in the top 5. His first Winston Cup win, no more. Dave Blaney and Michael Waltrip involved in a crash off of turn 4. Blaney continued. In fact, he's up in the top 10. Waltrip done for the day with damage. Then this from Dale Earnhardt Jr. Ouch. Right front down on his car into the outside wall. And now this is moments ago, Rusty Wallace through the accident. Wow.
Nice move.
Good thing he had new tires on that thing. Old tires would not have reacted that quickly.
That one, Matt Kenseth lost the right front tire and hit the wall on the front stretch. Wallace caught speeding, leaving pit road, busted from racing for the win, well back into the field. He restarted 17th last time by missing that wreck. He's up to 10th position. And the restart's been waved off. So let's jump to a break here. Back for more action at Kansas City in a minute.
Welcome back to the Kansas Speedway. 243 laps on the board. Ricky Rudd continues to lead. After qualifying on Friday, the story was dodge, dodge, dodge. But will it be that at the end of this race? Could be. Sterling Marlin last got tires on lap 185. Fuel only on his last stop. They think they're in good shape. Sterling very concerned about traffic. Outstanding run for Dave Blaney in the 93 car. Early trouble on the track. They've rebounded from that. They last took tires on lap 183. But you have to remember, a majority of those laps have been run under yellow. These teams are confident in the condition of their tires. Marty?
Well, Bill, how about Benny's pick of Ryan Newman? He is in 4th and looking pretty good. They took no tires on the last stop, but look who's in 2nd. Mark Martin is up in the 2nd position. He hasn't sniffed a win all year long. They only have 1 top 10 in their last 7 races. They're not worried about Ricky Rudd, the man in front of them. The man they're worried about is behind them, Jeff Gordon, as we go back to green on the racetrack.
23 laps to go. Top 3 clear the lap traffic.
And here comes Mark Martin. He's making the fifth lead. He's alongside Ricky Rudd, and here's Jeff Gordon right behind him.
It'll be the first time all day Martin's led if he can hold it to the start-finish line. Here comes Gordon.
Down on the apron of the Speedway. He's alongside Martin, going down to 1.
Rudd tries to follow him through. He'll do it. Wild exchange there.
I saw a puff of smoke from one of those cars as they came off too.
I think they might have run over a cloud of oil dry that's left over from the Dale Jr. wreck. They just got up a little high. More on Mark Martin from Marty.
Well, Alan, you talked about he led in the first 13 races this season. He's only led 3 races since. Like we talked about in the report a second ago, they were not worried about Ricky Rudd. There's caution on the racetrack.
Car in the wall. Dale, is that Dale Jarrett? Yes, Dale Jarrett. Into the outside wall. Caution's out. 12th time.
And there's another car involved.
Here comes Terry Labonte trying to get a lap back. His teammate will let him.
Bobby Labonte. Bobby Labonte was involved with that.
There it is. While they get the safety vehicles out onto the track, let's hear from the man involved in the last caution. He's with Dave.
And it seemed like Junior's tire was a bit of a surprise, but Matt, you had a little bit of an indicator you might have had a problem?
Yeah, I mean, everything was fine before we pitted, but after we pitted, something just didn't feel right in the car. I don't think we were low on air or anything, but had just a teeny vibration to it, so I'm not really sure what happened, but the tire let go, and I'm thankful it let go going into the end of the tri-oval there instead of going into 1, but we've just had a horrendously bad year. Everything's gone wrong. Even when we get the cars to run halfway decent, which isn't very often, we have something bad happen. So I was looking forward to finishing at least in the top 10, maybe in the top 5 today, but just wasn't to be.
And you're okay?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
All right, he is physically okay. He has had a bad run since that 4th place finish at Michigan, Alan.
Hard crash for Dale Jarrett. Bobby Labonte also involved. Let's take a look.
It's like they're 3 wide.
That doesn't work.
The 32 car of Ricky Craven had some damage from the wreck on lap 1, and he was on the bottom of the racetrack, and it looked like that Jarrett and Bobby Labonte were side by side and made contact going in the corner. Let's see. You saw the contact in the left rear of Dale Jarrett's car. after this, folks. Oh. We missed the hard crash.
Attention centered on the Dale Jarrett car now. We hope he's okay. We'll get an update as soon as possible. "19 laps to go. Jeff Gordon is the leader here at Kansas. You're watching NASCAR on NBC. Working around Dale Jarrett's car down in the middle of turns 1 and 2 here at the Kansas Speedway. After the hard crash a minute ago with he and Bobby Labonte up in the corner.
Kind of watch here again. Bobby Labonte and Jarrett were just about side by side going down the straightaway, and they came up on the 32 car. And by the in car, it looked like the 88 wanted to get down and thought he was clear of the 18. And the 18 was right there, and it hung up on Bobby's right front fender, and that's what turned the 88 car.
And it almost looks to me like, you know, maybe Bobby thought they would clear Ricky Craven before they got to the corner, and at the last second couldn't get out. There's Dale out of the car, and that's good news.
That is terrific news.
That is good news. Very hard crash on the driver's side door.
And he ran the 600 miles at Charlotte with some broken ribs in May. Remember, he crashed in qualifying down there and hit the wall about like that and broke some ribs. And I don't imagine he'll be feeling too good next week for the 500-mile race in Charlotte.
An update on Dale Jarrett's condition, obviously, after he gets to the infield medical center and the doctors have a look at him. But once again, good news to see him walk to that ambulance and climb in. Let's take another look at it. This one, the onboard view from Bobby Labonte.
Here's Bobby, and there's the 32 car. He runs up on the 32 car, goes high, then all of a sudden you'll see the 88 come over to the right side because he had such a run because the 18 had to check up a little bit for the 32. They all just get to the same real estate.
I guess DJ thought that he could run Bobby in the back of the 32 and use him as a pick and force him to get out of the throttle and let him take that spot away.
This has been a very rough race. This is the 12th caution of the day. The most caution periods we've had on a super speedway yet this year. Previous number was 11 at Darlington and Dover. We've had 62 of the 252 laps run so far today, been led by the pace car. While the cleanup continues, why don't we take a break here, come back and get set up for the finish. There'll be 15 laps to go here at Kansas City. They're hanging on for us to get done here in Kansas City. We've had a rough and rugged Winston Cup race here today. A lot of crashes in this one. 12 caution flags so far. Going to have a pretty short sprint to the finish, and let's hear from some of the front runners, crew chiefs now on their thinking. We go to Matt Yoakum.
Only 15 laps stand between Jeff Gordon and picking up his third inaugural race win. Robbie Loomis, you're now in the lead. Can your man stay there?
Whew, he's worked hard to get it, I tell you. I don't know, the track's real slick after those restarts when they clean the track, blow it, it sits. It seems to be real greasy. That's kind of what happened to Ricky there. So, you know, good Lord willing, we'll be able to keep that thing.
And Ricky Rudd said under the caution that he just didn't have any side bite, Wally, that he just could not get any bite with these tires, still loose.
All right, Wally, so you're Ricky Rudd, and those are your thoughts on your car. How do you get up there and try and win this race?
If my car's loose, hang on. There's not a whole lot you can do. Plus, you're going to have cars all around you. You got somebody that's right. You've got one car that's right underneath you, and if he's behind you going into the corner, that's going to make you even worse. So
you just got to brave it out, basically.
Pretty much.
I think right now Ricky Rudd just kind of follows Jeff Gordon down in the corner and sees what happens at 24. Hope that maybe he goes down and hits some oil dry, slips up the racetrack, and he can get under him.
Marty?
Well, guys, a deal has supposedly been worked out among the top 5 cars to let the lap cars pull back, let the top 5 into the bottom part of the lane. Remember when Jeff Green got to the bottom, it was such a key part to him winning yesterday's NASCAR Busch Series race. The top 5 cars are supposed to be able to get to the bottom. Mark Martin on the radio said, "I'll believe that when I see it."
Yeah, thanks, Marty. Deals in racing have a way of not working out.
Now, what if you're the 6th place guy? I'm going to be pretty sore.
Exactly.
We're going to have 13 laps to go when we go back racing as the field gets the double up signal now. So if you're the guy that's the first car 1 lap down to the inside, which is Robbie Gordon, do you make that deal?
Oh, Robbie Gordon's making that deal?
Is that a deal your spotters made and you may not be completely buying in on it, or what?
I'm not buying into it. I don't know about you, BP, but I can't see that happening.
Well, I think that I probably would let those top cars go ahead and try to determine who's going to win the race, because Robbie Gordon is not going to win. If he gets his lap back, he may finish 10th if there's a big crash, whatever, but he's not going to win the race regardless if he gets a lap back or not.
But what about Mike Wallace and Kenny Wallace and all these guys that are also racing for position, and Robbie's just going to be sitting there getting off the gas and letting these other guys go? All these guys behind him are racing for position, so it'll be interesting anyway.
Deals made are often deals broken. Well, we'll see what happens. They've waved off the restart. We're not going back racing quite yet. They've got to want to run through some of the oil dry that was put down up in turns 1 and 2 another lap.
And I would imagine some of those cars in the top 5, mainly Jeff Gordon, had something to do with making another pass through turns 1 and 2, trying to get all that oil dry blown off the racetrack.
I believe they've spotted a piece of debris is the reason for the restart wave off. We're getting further word now. Going to send a cleanup truck out to retrieve it. So it'll be 12 to go when they get the green. Rusty Wallace led the most laps today. He's been out in front for 118 of the 255 so far. He got busted for speeding, leaving pit road at lap 229. Dropped him to 17th. He's picked his way back to 8th.
Now it's just, I'm still going over this top 5 thing in my head. Now it's Robbie Gordon. Now the 6th place car is Kevin Harvick.
The 5 guys, I believe Marty's report was the first 5 guys that are a lap down on the inside lane have agreed to let the lead lap cars to their outside go clear them.
Okay.
Dave Burns has an update on Dale Jarrett for us. Dave?
Well, of course, the best news, Alan, was that he walked out of the car and was, with assistance, taken into the ambulance. They are going to transport him from the Speedway to a local hospital because he was briefly unconscious. That's the only news we have at this time. No news on the shoulder or arm situation, Alan.
All right, Dave, thank you.
And, well, a hit like that, BP, usually that gets your shoulder, your left shoulder, the way he went in like that. Going to be sore, if anything.
Time to settle it. Hopefully, without another caution flag. We've had enough today. Gordon, Rudd, Martin, Newman, Marlin. The lap cars, Robbie Gordon to their inside.
Look at, is that
Rusty?
Is that Rusty outside, the outside?
I don't think the top 5 cleared those lap cars, do you?
The top 2 did, but Martin, the 3rd place car, is hung up between the 2nd place car, Rudd, and the lap car, Robbie Gordon.
Rusty Wallace got up to 5th on the restart. He got by Sterling Marlin and Kevin Harvick.
So much for deals.
And remember, Rusty's got fresher tires than the other guys.
Ryan Newman passed.
Oh, throwing the ball hard.
2 of them.
Terry Labonte looked like he drove on.
It's the pole sitter Jason Leffler who's up against the fence, and it was Terry Labonte who bounced off the wall exiting the trioval. Caution's out. They're racing back to the yellow flag. Doesn't look like Rudd's going to be able to get up and do anything with Gordon.
Now on the restart, we will see a single file restart.
Robbie Gordon, it's a lap back. Well, we talked about a couple times today. Guys winning their first Bud Pole Award, not faring well in the race. Jason Leffler was going to beat that trend until there were 10 laps to go. Check it out. Leffler was on the lead lap. Now he's going to finish somewhere in the 30s.
That's terrible. The best finish that anyone had of the 4 was 39th.
With just 10 laps to go, the field is slowing to a stop on the back straightaway. NASCAR is going to display the red flag to try and clean this track up and get the thing finished under green. The field stops. And as the fans in the grandstand understand what's going on, they approve. Here's what happened.
You know, he lost a tire. Yeah, but if you keep, I believe he had a tire problem on that deal.
I believe it was Terry's tire that came out.
See,
and Leffler ran over it.
Okay.
Oh, no, you're right, Walt. He veered down into Terry.
Yeah, yeah.
Kenny Schrader run over the tire.
Yep. He veered down into him.
Yeah. And I was looking at that after the wreck. I said, that's an interest, you know, to see a tire laying down there like that.
And there's Jason Leffler walking away.
What's going on with right front tires? That's the 4th or 5th one. That is Dale Jarrett being transported to the local hospital.
I don't know what's happened all of a sudden. We didn't have a problem. And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. 3 cars in the last 20 or 30 laps.
I don't know.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth. Now this one for Leffler.
Well, but both Junior and Kenseth. And we see that the right front is flat on the 5 car. That might have happened when he hit the wall. But Junior and Kenseth both told us that they knew something was wrong. And they were going to pit in a lap or so.
Something going on there.
And do we know that it was it the right front? Was it the left front on the 0-1 car? Which?
I mean, we can.
Yeah.
Get another look at it. Here's the right front right there, so it's not the right front. I think it was a rear.
He hung an awful hard left there.
It was almost like a left rear.
My guess it would be the left rear. I've had that happen to me, and trust me when I tell you, they just fly around.
Let's take another look at it, see if we can figure it out. Watch Leffler's car just snap to the left.
And he comes down, gets in the right rear of Labonte, and there is the cap rolling down the apron of the racetrack. I think you're right. Well, I think it's the left rear.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a break. They're under the red flag with 10 laps to go here at Kansas City, what has turned out to be somewhat of a demolition derby here in the late going. Back at the Kansas Speedway, NASCAR on NBC. Sprint PCS presenting NASCAR Winston Cup Racing under the red flag with 10 laps to go after the 12th caution flag of this one has waved. What a brutal day it's been so far, especially in the late going. Field is stopped on the back straightaway. Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, the top 2 in the championship, running in the top 2 places in this race. The gap was 2:12 coming in. They've both led a lap. Neither will lead the most laps. It'd be a 5-point net gain if they finish as they are now. If.
But we see the top 3 cars are Ryan Newman, the 0-2 car, is in 3rd. Right now, Mark Martin is in 4th. But right behind Mark Martin, or beside him, sitting there, the 2 car, Rusty Wallace, restarted in 17th position and has worked his way up to the 5th spot with those fresh tires. But I think he's got more than fresh tires. I think he's got a little fire in his eye because he was penalized by NASCAR.
He got a couple of spots on that last restart.
Here's Rusty Wallace. And watch as they throw the green flag.
This is a top fuel start right here. That
1, 2,
3 cars.
3 cars.
The hard way. And got back in. Fortunately, he got back in, because if he couldn't have got down there, he would have been in the slippery part of the racetrack.
He timed it
Actually,
just right.
look at Sterling, got in the back of the 02 car.
That's right.
Little brake check from the leader, Jeff Gordon, back, stacking the field up.
And about the same time that they had to jam on the brakes to avoid hitting each other is the time that Rusty was on the outside going somewhere.
So Rusty up to 5th place now. After falling to 17th when he got the penalty, speeding, leaving the pit road at lap 229. Check that out.
They failed to win 8 of the last 9, and Rusty has led the most laps today. But Rusty Wallace, that car has been very, very good today. My hat's off to him.
And he's one of those guys. Led the most laps at Richmond. Failed to win. Ricky Rudd got that one. Let's go down to Dave Burns.
Now, one of the interesting things that NASCAR is now doing with hard impacts like that of Dale Jarrett, especially to the driver's side, as you can see the wreck car down here, is they take all the safety equipment that the driver uses. And according to NASCAR, a wreck like this would be the kind where they would take his helmet, his head and neck restraint, that sort of thing, just to analyze how it reacted in the crash. And so we believe that that has probably been done with Dale Jarrett's equipment. And as he is transported to a local hospital, again, just for preliminary checkups, because he was unconscious, they're also going to be taking all of the safety equipment from Dale himself to their new research and development area in Hickory, North Carolina, to have some studies done on it.
All right, Dave, thank you. Seatbelts have been a topic much in the racing news discussion over the past week, BP.
Yeah, after the crash that Jeremy Mayfield had in Dover last week, they discovered that the left lap belt was torn about an inch and a half. And Simpson has made a non-adjustable left lap belt. This, I mean, obviously this is adjustable, but you got to do it outside the car. Get it to where it fits the driver, and then the driver cannot tug on it. It will not move. So they call this a non-adjustable left side, because this is the one that takes the real blow. When the car goes in the corner and hits that right front, it's trying to throw the driver out of the car. The left one is the one that takes all the blow. Then here's what happened last week. The roller, the adjuster on the car, was on the label of the belt. Now, the label last week on the belt was much larger. It was almost 6 inches long and as wide as the belt. This adjuster, let me show you this thing, how the belt goes through that, and you see the roughness or the serration on this. That's what grips the belt to hold it. On the label last week, this would not grip. It slid through the adjuster, and when it finally did catch, it ripped the belt.
Talk more about that in just a second. First, Bobby Labonte was the other driver involved in the crash with Dale Jarrett. His car's in the garage, and he's with Dave.
And he is done for the day, Alan, obviously with so few laps remaining. It sounds like a bad country song, Bobby. You were going 3 wide on a not even a 2 wide racetrack, weren't you?
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I got behind a lap car there. You know, had to slow down and get behind the 4 car, and the 88 had a run. You know, obviously, we let off the gas a little bit. He had a run and was coming and went on the outside of me, and I was in the middle. And I was trying to get out of it, but, you know, didn't get out of the way fast enough.
Bobby, you were chatting with Todd Parrott, Dale's crew chief, and with his crew. Tell us about your concern for him.
Well, I mean, it's a shame that racing like today had to happen with, you know, a lot of accidents, stuff like that, and, you know, hard to pass and arrow this and arrow that, which you can't even see it, and it's our worst enemy. And, you know, it's, you know, concern is for Dale. I mean, you know, he hit pretty hard, and, you know, anytime you're involved in something like that, you know, you're concerned about, you know, your fellow driver. And so I just got Todd's number. I was going to call him later.
All right. He'll catch up. They are good friends, and he will talk to him later on.
All right, Dave, thanks for the update on Bobby Labonte. And just to go back and finish up the seatbelt issue that we were talking about a minute ago, Benny, where the adjusters and the labels on them are concerned and so on.
And now they have taken all the labels. NASCAR has told all the teams to take those labels off the belts. This is obviously the label is gone off this one. It wasn't put on there to begin with. But any belt that has that huge label on that the adjuster would go through, they're to take them off. Have I added? You need to add anything?
No, you did very well. Oh. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. All right. They fired the engines on the cars. The red flag about to be pulled back in. The field starting to roll off. And we're going to try and settle this thing again. Now, I've said that already once, and it didn't work out. What goes through these guys' minds when they're stopped out there under the red flag like that?
They just want to get it going. But I think a lot of them are thinking, at least it's going to be a single file restart. So hopefully that'll be a little bit of a help.
NASCAR rules, if you're not familiar, when it's inside the final 10 laps of the race, only the cars on the lead lap line up single file at the front of the field. If you're a lap down, sorry, your chance to win is over, and you go toward the back of the pack for the restart.
You know, I saw Terry Labonte's car sitting there as we see our shot from our U.S. Army Skycam, and I thought that the car would move. But I'd forgotten we were on the red flag. He could not advance. He now is trying to get his car back to the garage area or pit road with that damaged right front.
Yeah. And probably a flat right front tire by the looks of the way it's dragging the nose there.
Yeah, he couldn't go up and pass the pace car.
That's what I was thinking, that he just couldn't move, that a wrecker was going to come drag him in, but that was not the case.
Lead lap cars, we've got 17 of them, including Robbie Gordon now. Although Terry Labonte is going to struggle to stay in that group. Rusty Wallace gained 3 spots on the last restart. Marty, what's the conversation like now?
Well, Alan, he was pretty proud of that last restart, going by all those cars on the outside. Rusty is currently in the 4th position. Let me see. Yes, the 5th position, rather. Now, in between he and his teammate Ryan Newman is Mark Martin. So Rusty has already relayed a message to Ryan Newman. Let's try these guys on the outside again. If they can get past Mark, they think they can team up, maybe pass some guys on the outside. So they're going to try to work their way to the front using that second groove that Wally has said all day long doesn't exist.
The only guy I've seen it used today has been Rusty Wallace. He hasn't passed anyone, but he has maintained the lead when someone was trying to pass him. He's drove it in on the outside.
Now, do you think that maybe if Ryan moves up to the outside and Rusty gets there, that Rusty will be on the inside of the O2 car going through 1-2?
I bet you that's what will happen.
Now, it was a certain someone standing a person away from me who said on Monday we might see a first-time winner here, and it could be Ryan Newman. Is that right, BP?
Well, I mean, this team is really, really good. Newman is an exceptional talent. And last week at Dover, he had the crash, and I think that he's probably, in this racetrack, 400 miles, he has shown some patience today. And now he realizes what it takes to be here to try to win. I just feel like he would understand all those things. He's a pretty bright boy. He just graduated from college.
And that is a backup car.
And that backup car. He did crash his primary car.
Any effect on the race cars from sitting under the red flag?
No, I would think so.
No.
Drivers just ready to get back at it. Race cars are okay. All right,
we're ready to
do
go.
This thing.
It's going to be 1 to go, and they come back around to the start-finish line. That'll be at 7 to go, so the restart's going to come with 6 laps left. Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, 2 in the championship, holding down the top 2 spots. They've pretty much dueled to a draw throughout the day today. And they'll carry that race for the championship on to Charlotte next Sunday. NASCAR on NBC, bringing you 500 miles. We kick it off on Thursday night in prime time with Bud Pole qualifying on TNT. Then Saturday, the NASCAR Busch Series race at noon Eastern time, followed by Winston Cup final practice, both of those on TNT. Week from today, NBC at noon Eastern time with the UAW GM Quality 500.
See these guys, this is BP, we're talking about the car sitting there, but this is the most important thing you have to do after you do sit there, is get those tires clean. You got to have those tires clean on this restart, because when you run around the track slow under yellow, you pick up little pieces of dirt and rubber, and you go flying down to turn 1, and it won't turn.
These tires are probably 225 degrees when the caution flag comes out. And as Wally says, when they slow down, any little small stones or any debris on the racetrack, that hot rubber just picks those up. And you aren't running fast enough to sling them off. So that's why you see the drivers going back and forth. It's trying to, as Wally said, just wipe everything off. Because when you go down the corner, it's almost like the tire's flat.
And you'll probably see at least one of these guys slide up the racetrack going into 1, and he's got to get the tires clean the best.
Trying to use the track almost like a cheese grater as you work the tires back and forth on it.
Exactly, and that's, you see the 24, the 28, all those guys are doing right now.
I can see how that helped the front tires. What about the rears?
No, you're still swerving the car, so it cleans off all 4 tires pretty good.
All right, 6 laps to go when the green flag waves. Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, the upstart youngster Ryan Newman, Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace, the top 5. Rusty got 3 positions on the last restart on the outside. Can he do it again?
This is going to be good.
And Robert Presley back in the 9th position. I don't think we've mentioned him all day, but here he is, 9th with just a few laps to go.
And Blaney and 8 there for spinning.
75,000 on their feet here in Kansas City. Ready for the final 6 laps of this one. Who gets the best restart?
Rusty on the outside.
And here comes Sterling Marlin on the inside. Here comes Kevin Harvick on the inside. And Rusty goes to 4th. Mark back to about 7th.
Robert Presley starts inside to the inside, and Dale Blaney. Tommy Stewart makes that one 3 wide. Up front, though, it's Jeff Gordon. Look at this.
That is a traffic jam.
These guys are trying to wreck. They just don't know where.
Five to go. Ryan Newman reeling in the top 2 quickly.
Boy, Newman looks strong right there on the bottom of the track on the bottom side of the 28 car. He will take the 2nd spot from Rookie Road.
Ryan Newman crashed here on Friday. This is a backup car he ran an ARCA race with here a couple of months ago. Can he get his first NASCAR Winston Cup win from the 3-time champion Jeff Gordon? Matt Yoakum.
And Jeff Gordon has not said a word on the radio. He's just hunkered down. He knows he has the rookie coming up behind him, making a charge. Gordon trying to hold him off.
Marty Snyder.
Well, and not only did this car for Ryan Newman run in the ARCA race here, it led 114 of 142 laps, almost all the ones he ran until he lost an engine. They know it's fast. They think they're going to catch Jeff Gordon and pull this thing off.
Catching him's one thing.
Passing him's another.
We could do a duet on that, couldn't we?
3 laps to go. Wright, Wallace, and Marlin settled in 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Mark Martin has been shuffled back to 6th. Presley's up to 7th. Then you've got Harvick, Stewart, and Kurt Busch rounding out the top 10.
29 car, something is wrong. I noticed the last time, all 4, he was high, and he's losing it up. Another position as Jeff Burton goes by.
Report from the pits, possible tire going down for Harvick. 2 laps to go. Gordon's lead is stabilized over Newman, it appears.
Ryan Newman might be guilty right now, driving just a little bit too hard. And who can blame him?
The white flag is up. Final lap here in Kansas City. 5 car lengths. Gordon spotter telling him he's clear on Ryan Newman. Rusty Wallace trying to challenge Willie Rudd for 3rd spot. Behind these 2. Inaugural races have been very, very good for Jeff Gordon. He won at Indianapolis in the first race there. He won at California the first race there. Here he comes to the checkered flag. Gordon wins in Kansas City. Ryan Newman gets 2nd. Ricky Rudd clearly holds off Rusty Wallace and Sterling Marlin for 3rd. Sixth time in 2001, Jeff Gordon is your winner.
Gotta slam them doors, baby. Gotta slam the door.
He led 53 laps today, 5 different times out in front. Took the lead for the final time at lap 246 of 267. And held off a very determined youngster to get his victory.
Let's try talking to Ryan Newman as these cars come in. Ryan Newman, Benny Parsons, you read me? Might have turned his radio off.
Benny's on the line. Yeah, copy.
Hey, Ryan, you almost pulled it off, man.
We had a good car today. Thank you, Benny. It was just a great run for us. Finished second to Jeff Gordon. You know, there's many other champions out here, but he's a great one.
Hey, just watch how he's doing there out in the grass, making those donuts. You'll know how to do it when you finally pull off that victory.
Big coffee on that, but just a good day for the all-tail crew, and you know, good to have 2 Pepsi cars in the top 5. Just a great run for us overall.
Congratulations, Ryan.
Look at the skid marks from Jeff Gordon all the way through the grass. Came off the pit lane and just threw it out into the tri-oval. And by the way, with the drivers who've had trouble finding their way to victory lane lately, they gave instructions on how to find victory lane in Kansas this morning in the drivers' meeting. Jeff Gordon's the winner, and Chevy congratulates Jeff in the number 24 Monte Carlo on a big win today, and he'll tell you the only thing that comes close to Monte Carlo's reputation on the track is its reputation on the street. Monte Carlo, more champions depend on Chevy. We'll be there. Jeff Gordon's there in the Monte Carlo winner's circle. 58th victory of his 285 race Winston Cup career. And Bill Weber's there with him now.
Well, Alan, we talked about it on the pre-race show, but it was 5 years ago yesterday that Jeff Gordon took the checkered flag and drove into victory lane for the final race at North Wilkesboro, a short track in North Carolina that was very popular. Now it's new tracks, big tracks, major cities, but the same guy coming back to victory lane. He's been extremely successful, as you mentioned, in inaugural events. Pretty much came in here on a mission, I think, after the last couple of weeks. Wanted to show he could get back to victory lane. Also wanted to show he could protect his position in the points. Probably had a little emotional motivation this morning. His special guest at the drivers meeting was Matt Dahl, the son of United Airlines pilot Jason Dahl, who was aboard United Flight 93 that crashed in Pennsylvania. A kiss from his wife Brooke, some high fives, a fist pump, and he will celebrate in the confetti-filled victory lane. Handshakes all around. Congratulations. Welcome to Kansas.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. Can't wait to come back. Man, what an awesome day for the DuPont Chevrolet team. You know, we had a good car, top 2 or 3 all day long. I hate it for Rusty. That was a tough break for him, and, you know, he had the car to beat. I think we had something for him there, though. We hung right onto his bumper that one time. If we could have got out in front of him, I think we had something for him. But, whew, what a great day. Just want to thank God for all the adversity this team has come through over the last year and a half, and want to thank DuPont and, you know, all the folks that really make this possible for us. Quaker State, GMAC, Pepsi, Fritos, Delphi. It's just a great organization at Hendrick Motorsports, and we're just so proud of this race team.
You had Matt Dahl with you this morning in the drivers meeting, the son of pilot Jason Dahl.
We did, and it was very special. And this one's for Matt right here. He wanted to be here. He had to go home. I showed him where victory lane was earlier. I didn't know if I was going to be here, but he said, well, go out there and do it anyway for me. We'd love that. And this one's for Matt. He's a strong and great kid, and we were really happy to have him here with us today.
Look right in that camera and tell him you made it, man.
I hope he's home now, and we made it here, man. Wish you were here. We'll see you in Charlotte.
Congratulations to Jeff Gordon, the first winner here at Kansas Speedway, Alan.
All right, Bill, thank you. Here are the final results from today's 400-mile inaugural. Ricky Rudd, finishing 3rd, losing about 10 points to Jeff Gordon in the championship. Rusty Wallace made it back from 17th to 4th. And a good top 10 run for Robert Presley and Dave Blaney.
Jeff Burton finishing the 11th spot. Jerry Nadeau, up and down days, back there in 12th. Bobby Hamilton finishes 15th. Harvick, with that promise, goes back to the last car on the lead lap. Never see Terry Labonte will finish 8 laps down and 28th on back.
Dale Jarrett.
Most all these cars out of the race.
Dale Jarrett taken to a local hospital for further observation after being briefly unconscious in a late crash, though he did walk away with some assistance from the race car. Championship, Gordon picking up 10 points on Ricky Rudd as we head off to Charlotte next week, and now there are 8 races to go in the NASCAR Winston Cup season.